Hey guys, how's it going? Can you guys see me? I feel like you can see me. Okay. Hi. Welcome to Criminally Confident. My name is Lacey Meeks, and I am so excited to have you guys here. Hi, Kevin. Welcome. If you are a new viewer, welcome. If you are a regular viewer around here, you should know that what is about to happen is my cat's going to jump all over, and I'm it gets me a little sidetracked, but I have been away for like a week. That was my last live stream because we had some situations going on in the Caribbean, y'all. And I can tell you I got a little bit of color, but not much. Not much. I was like astonished by how cold it was in the Caribbean. And I guess it's supposed to get really cold in Florida next week, which is when I'm supposed to go back. So I'm not really sure what's going on right now, but you just gotta go with it. So, what have you guys been doing? What's been going on? Um, while you guys answer, I'll kind of let you know what my expectations are. I am expecting numbers to be lower these next couple days because we got off sync with our algorithm. Algorithm is like a dictatorship. And when you mess with it, it just unfortunately it tends to bite you in the butt. Yes. So maybe said snow. Yeah. I did not see snow in Florida, but when I tell you that we went to Disney Springs, it's the free version of Disney. If you've been to Disney, let me know in the chat. Or Disney Springs. It was so freaking cold. We were like taking shelter in rooms, in restaurants that we didn't want to be in, just to like make it from one place to another place to our Uber. It was like it was no good, no good. And there's no school here. Everything is shut down. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but it's been wild. I'm super cold, and the blanket that I usually keep with me in here, I took on the cruise, and I took to Florida, obviously, and so it's sitting in a pile of unclean laundry, and I have to pack it up to go back to Florida next week. So we'll see. I got a lot to do. Um, yeah, yeah, it's no good. It is no good. I I will say that it was a good trip in the sense of I think that uh I think that it's inevitable that I'm gonna end up in Florida. I think it's inevitable. Um and there's a lot of moving motions going on with that, but um thank God, cuz this snow out here is BS. No good. Have you guys been keeping up with this au pair trial? This murder trial, unaliving trial? Cuz I don't speak Portuguese. I'm so sorry, Gabriella. Um I'm from Ohio. I'm from Ohio. Yeah, unfortunately. No, it's fortunate. We're the home of the new what's the show called? Love is Blind. Love is Blind, Ohio. And we have pretty girls and handsome boys, and we have a lot of innovation going on here. Why not out west? Because I have my family agreeing to go to Florida. I have lobbied them for years, and I have finally gotten everyone to say yes. So thank God. Thank God. So I leave next week for about a month, and just going with my mom, and we are going to enjoy ourselves. The kitten is here. She says hello. Coco, say hello. Yes. She's like, yes, I know. I famous cat. All right. Here we go. I kind of jump into the au pair case. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. Maybe that's why the Portuguese girl was commenting, because I know like a bunch of people from Portugal and like Brazil and the Philippines. I know that's like they will come to America and do that job, and thank God. Like, I don't know. If you speak Portuguese, let me know. Okay. So if that's okay with everyone, I would love to show it because it looks like crazy as hell. So, let's go ahead and bring that on. Actually, we're going to share this tab instead. Oh, Riley. My dogs are so happy I'm home. I will say that. Okay, here we go. Let me know if there's something else that you think we should be covering, but this has been wild. This has been crazy. So I kind of want to go with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Could you speak up just a little bit for me? I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
With this right, the jury cannot take it into consideration or hold it against you if you choose not to testify. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And I also would instruct them on this right. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. By testifying, you understand you waive this constitutional right.
Yes.
By testifying, do you understand that this waiver is unconditional? In other words, even if your attorney only asks you questions about certain topics, the Commonwealth will have the ability to ask you about other topics as well, even if they were not brought up on direct. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Have you discussed with your lawyer about testifying or not testifying?
Yes.
And after discussing it with him and considering what I just told you, is it your decision today to testify?
Yes.
And are you entering this decision to testify freely and voluntarily today?
Yes.
All right. So I do find your decision to testify has been made known intelligently and with the knowledge of the consequence of the waiver.
Maybe I will
You can have a
get into that during the first break.
Are we
This
ready
is
for the jury?
yesterday's.
Yes, ma'am. All right, just to let counsel know, the jury can come on Friday, 10 o'clock to 4:30 p.m., okay? Somebody has an appointment at 4:30 and somebody's has an appointment at 9:30 or going to be 10 to 4:30 on Friday, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect.
So sneak peek.
Okay, that's fine.
Actually shocked I didn't forget anything getting the stream together. Oh, please make sure to like the stream. I know it's going to be a slow stream getting back into the rhythm of things, but it's okay. As long as you guys like it and make sure you're subscribed, that helps me a great deal. Thanks, y'all.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Your next witness?
Your Honor, I call Brendan Banfield.
All right, could you just move the microphone up for you? There you go.
Your Honor, I call Brendan Banfield.
All right.
Madam Clerk, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case under penalty of law? Thank you.
No reason. Just, I've missed you guys. I've missed Maybe. I've missed Kevin. I miss Buffalo. I will admit I talked to Maybe.
Sir, can you state your name and spell your name for the court reporter?
DANBANFIELD.
Any relation?
And Brendan, how old are you?
40.
And you were married to Christine Banfield, correct?
He
Yes.
looks like he's gonna puke.
And how long were you and Christine together?
We were together since we were 18.
And how did you meet?
We met freshman year at college at Quinnipiac University.
Now, where are you originally from?
I am from Long Island, New York.
And is that where you grew up?
Yes, I lived there the majority of my life.
Now, what prompted you to come down to Virginia?
I received a promotion from my job with the Internal Revenue Service. I previously was a
Oh,
tax
you're that
compliance
guy.
officer, and I received a promotion to special agent with IRS criminal investigation.
Okay, we'll get back to that later. Let's talk about your family. Before Christine's death, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what your family was.
My family was me, Christine, and my daughter Valerie.
And what kind of things would you do? And well, prior to you having Valerie, what kind of things would you and Christine enjoy together?
Christine and I had a very active social life. We spent a lot of time with our friends. This included playing board games and cards, as well as going on vacations together, and going on vacations with other couples that we were friends with. We did a lot of hiking, going to different forests and different mountains kind of around the country. We also spent some time, we
Balding.
played kickball together.
Yeah.
We did quite a bit intramurally.
Okay. And when Valerie came along, were you in New York or were you in Virginia?
We were still in New York at that point.
And so, how old was she when you left New York?
She was not one yet. She was 10, 11 months.
Okay. Now, what kind of things, and sorry, once again, before Valerie, what kind of things would,
Sorry?
in addition to the hiking, what kind of things would you and Christine enjoy doing together?
We spent, I would say that we spent a lot of time together. When we weren't working, we did a lot of work around our house. We had two dogs, two huskies that we took care of. We're often taking them on our walks and hikes.
They're big.
And so,
I'm not anti-husky.
in addition to those things, you also both worked?
Yes.
And what did Christine do for work?
Christine had several different jobs. Her primary position was as a pediatric intensive care unit nurse. At other points, she did private healthcare for an individual family. She also did some product training for medical devices, and she also worked as a sexual assault nurse examiner for
Wow.
several years.
Okay. And where was that? Was that in New York?
Those were those were in New York, and when we came to Virginia, she continued as a pediatric intensive care unit nurse and trainer for INOVA here in Virginia.
Okay. Now, in terms of your work, when you were in New York, what did you do?
Yes.
I mostly worked for the Internal Revenue Service. Before I came to Virginia, I was a tax compliance officer. I also worked at a math tutoring center known as Mathnasium, where I was center director, and Christine actually worked there with me as well.
Was this a business that the two of you owned?
Yes, this was a business that we owned together and worked at together.
Oh, it sounds
Okay, and
awful.
how did you divide the duties in this small business?
Generally, we had about 5 to 7 employees in addition to ourselves. I ran most of the day-to-day activity which would be the after-school hours for when kids would come and study math with the tutors. I did math assessments. I spoke to the parents about where their child was. And
I was
how
sent to a
we
center
could
like that.
generally get them to where they would be needed to be, where at their current grade level. Christine helped quite a lot with the hiring process. She worked on marketing. She also spent a lot of time tutoring some of the younger students.
And how long did the two of you run that business together?
About 3 years.
Okay. And when you moved from New York to Virginia, what, if anything, did you do with the business?
Prior to moving to Virginia, we sold the business because we weren't going to be able to operate it from Virginia.
Why?
Now, you indicated previously that Valerie was born up in New York. How old was she when she came down to Virginia with you?
I believe about 11 months. I don't know the exact date that we moved here, but yes.
Now, in terms of Christine's career and your career moving from New York to Virginia, were you both in line with coming down here for your job?
It was a promotion for myself, but it was also ended up being a promotion for Christine when she applied to INOVA, because she was going to be training the newer hires as well after she finished her own orientation. And so this was going to be a pay raise, and she always was Stony Brook Hospital. So this allowed her to more formally control some of the training process of the nurses in the pediatric ICU.
And so did she look at this move, even though it was for your job and your training, did she look at this as something that was a positive, or?
Well,
I would say that once she started applying to positions here, because she applied to like Children's National Hospital and a few others, and she realized some of the opportunities with her background, that this was going to be positive for her career as well. But I mean, she was also concerned because we weren't going to be next to our family, which was mainly in at that point.
Okay.
But there was a lot of benefit, and we viewed that it was to us and our.
Non-married life and married life.
About 19 and a half years.
And how would you characterize your relationship with Christine?
For the most part, we were pretty inseparable. We were together the entire time. We didn't break up at any point. We were from college to our first jobs after college, to buying our first house together, to marriage, to getting a dog and a second dog, and then moving down here. We were always together, always planning for the future. This was part of our life.
He just seems like
Now, let's talk
Bleh.
a little bit about Valerie. Were you and Christine actively involved in Valerie's life?
Yes, I would say that we were very active in Valerie's life.
Okay, when you invited Valerie into the family, when she came into the family, how did that work within regard to your family dynamic?
Mr. Carroll, I think you had the wrong name. When you invited Valerie into the family,
Their daughter.
the daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when Valerie was born, I'm sorry, can you ask the question?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, there's a little confusion. I apologize. Valerie, your daughter, I said invited her into your life when she was born. How did that affect the relationship, and how did you all kind of change to take care of Valerie?
I would say that Valerie brought all of our family closer together, including my mother and our in-laws. It kind of brought everyone
I
near
figured
to
his,
each other. There was a lot of
I
overlap,
figured
a lot of family
probably
visits, a lot of care from
me too.
a lot of care from specifically both grandmothers, helping both me and Christine when Valerie was born, and that it was a very joyous moment for our family. She was really the first grandchild for both sets of grandparents.
And so when she was born, it sounded like a positive thing for everything.
Yes.
And what, if any, involvement did you have, and what involvement did Christine have, knowing that you're both working full time?
So our schedules are a bit strange for childcare purposes. Christine would work 12.5-hour shifts, which generally meant that she was leaving at 6:30 in the morning and would be coming back at roughly 7:30 at night. When I was in New York, I was working 6 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. And so on days where both of us were working, generally one of the grandmothers was the primary caregiver when Christine's maternity leave and my leave ended after Valerie was born.
Okay, and so it worked out between all of you?
Yes. It seemed to be going pretty well.
Okay, now, how old is Valerie now?
Valerie's she'll be 8 in March, so 7 currently.
Okay, and do you, since this situation has started, do you have contact with her?
Yes, I talk to her basically every day by video chat, often also by phone.
Now, when she was younger, what kind of involvement?
A lot of time on her education. I guess I've spent a lot of time teaching math over the years, and even from before she was in preschool, I spent a lot of time basically what I would call numerical fluency, starting with counting and moving up through. I've currently been working with times tables with her, which is above grade level. So I've been doing
What a
math work
weird
with her,
question
basically from
to
pre until present. But I also monitor quite a bit of what work she does at school, and with this, I spend a lot of time reading with her, and we do. I guess I would say that I make I call them activity pages, but essentially they're like crossword puzzles and word searches, rhyming words, or consonant combinations such as like ST or CK, and then I'll give a description of a word, and then the word will match. So if it was like TR and this is a plant that grows tall, she might write tree and things like that, so that she would work additionally on whatever letter combinations they're currently working on in school as additional practice. I do a lot of design work for that also.
Okay, and you're designing these things for her to be able to continue kind of working with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
I
what
mean, it's
about,
better than him not
things like
doing
science and
anything.
engineering and all that sort of thing? Did you ever get into any of that with?
So we always did quite a bit of Legos, basically starting at like 2. But after that, we started doing these projects from Kiwi Company, where you would do things like make a little box that for you, or that would launch a disk. We were doing these Crunch Lab boxes where we were working on things like rocket launches.
Yes, maybe.
And there was quite a few others. There was designing of animals and like stuffed animals, and there was also like different circuits where you would have it would show you how to design basically a button, and then when pressing the button would allow like animations to move or things like that, and it would show more details of how a lot of electronics would work.
What kind of things would you and Christine do with her?
We spent a lot of time in nature, the three of us. Behind our house is Frying Pan Farm. So walking distance, we have walking trails, and we can walk to Frying Pan Farm where Valerie definitely liked to see the animals. We had a membership to the National Aquarium in Baltimore, and that was we went there frequently.
My friend got married there.
I'm sorry, was there more to your question?
It was about the three of you doing things together.
We would go on vacations. There was quite a bit of spending time with family in terms of going to the water, whether going to beaches or even with my in-laws going to on their boat and going fishing.
How did you observe the relationship between Christine and Valerie?
Christine loved Valerie very dearly, and Valerie was very attached to her mother. It was tragic, their separation, but when Valerie was always very excited as soon as Christine would get home from work, she would run up to her mother and say, be happy and call her mama. And, they spent quite a bit of time doing art-related projects. Christine would often bring Valerie to dance when she was not working.
Now, did you love your wife?
Very much.
Did you want to continue your marriage with your wife?
Yes,
Do you love your daughter, Valerie?
more than anything.
Your Honor, I'm going to try to show some pictures,
Okay.
if I can.
All right.
Don't let me forget to tell you guys about this.
Judge, I might need some assistance from
Ah,
All right.
sorry.
So can you help him?
I'll come back to that during the first break, and I have another video to show you guys.
Sir, can you see the picture that's on the screen?
Yes.
Your Honor, we identify that as Defense Exhibit number 220. Do you recall that situation?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and Your Honor, I move that in as Defense Exhibit 220.
Any objection?
If we could lay some foundation.
All right, just foundation.
Do you recall this event?
Yes,
When was that?
there was a trip that we took that was in Pennsylvania. We had gone to the Poconos, and we spent some days there in a cabin. This was during that trip. We went to a mud run called Warrior Dash.
And do you remember when that occurred?
I mean, not the exact date, but I would say that it was. I would say it was in 2018.
Okay, so would that have been?
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Man,
Yeah,
he is
probably-
so nervous.
Probably. Sorry. I think it's closer to like 2015.
Okay, so that would have been when you were living in New York?
Yes.
Hey,
You were prior to
Oklahoma.
Yes.
And is this Christine with you?
Yes, it is.
And Your Honor, move that in as Defense Exhibit 220.
Judge, I'm not sure how a 10-year-old photo is relevant, but given that,
Do you have an objection or not?
no, it's fine.
No objection, 220.
And so was this a plan that you made to go to the mud run, or is this something that you just,
No,
how did it come about?
we planned a whole trip to the Poconos. We went to a concert while we were there. We spent time. We spent time in a cabin. We did quite a bit of hiking. It was fun. It was a fun trip.
Okay.
My
I'm
laptop
going to, Your Honor, I'm
is
going to move
losing
to the next
power.
slide.
All right.
I'm gonna try this.
That would be identified as Exhibit 221. You recognize that, sir?
I do.
Was this the same race?
It is not.
Where is this located?
This one took place on Long Island,
1 second.
close to our house in, I believe, Calverton.
Okay. Your Honor, move that in as Defense
at
Exhibit
me.
221.
Any objection?
No.
221.
Hold on.
Sorry, Your
Let
Honor, to the
me-
next slide. Exhibit 365. What is that a picture of?
This is a picture of me and Christine on a fishing boat that leaves out of Port Jefferson.
Okay.
And do you know when that was?
Probably 5 or 6 years ago.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I think I said, I didn't, I think it's,
Thank you so much, Maybe. If you are a new recipient of a flashy membership to my channel, welcome. Make sure to please thank Maybe. That was so incredibly nice of her. And the more you are speaking in the chat and you are engaging with the chat, liking, subscribing, the more likely you are to receive a free membership. So I want to say thank you to Maybe and to all my other members out there, because I am doing a members only stream this Saturday. So I will hope to see you guys then. Let's keep this going. Oh yeah, and you get these like really cool what are they called? Emojis, and you get discounts to the merch, which is launching on the 1st of February. And I'm trying to in like for game gameplay, it's beneficial. Oh, and I make sure that anyone who is a member, I make sure that your comments always pop up on the screen. So if that is something that interests you, I believe the beginning level is $7.99 a month. So please make sure to thank Maybe. And I love having you guys part of this channel. So we'll keep going. But thank you so much, Maybe. I really appreciate it. It's a good way to start this back from vacation.
365, did I say that?
Yeah, you said
Okay,
365.
thank you. Your Honor, I move that in as Exhibit 365.
Any objection?
No.
365.
And sir, do you see this video or this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And who's depicted in this photograph?
This is me and Valerie, and Christine's face seems to be cut off, but I believe that's her as
Is that
well.
her? Okay. And do you know when that was taken?
This appears to be when Valerie was 4, probably the
Oh, they're not going to show it 'cause
Fall.
of the kid.
before Christine died.
Your Honor, I move this in as Defense Exhibit 366.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
366.
Sir, do you see this one?
Yes, sir.
And who is that with you?
Christine.
And is that, well, tell me what it is.
I believe that this is at a rehearsal dinner for one of our friends' weddings, the day before their wedding.
And where did that take place? New York or Virginia? Your Honor, I move that in as Defense Exhibit 367.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
367.
Sir, do you see that?
Yes,
And what if, who are the people involved in that?
I was looking
this
to
is
see who
me,
had
Christine, and Valerie.
memberships.
And do you remember that?
This is on a flight from here in Virginia to Florida before we were going on a cruise. This would have been in
Port
20
Canaveral.
22.
Your Honor, I move that in as Exhibit 368.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
368.
Sir, do you recognize this picture?
Yes, this is me, Christine, and Valerie on the cruise after that flight.
Your Honor, I move that in as 369.
All right. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
369.
And sir, do you remember this?
Yes, this is on the same cruise at a formal dinner that we went to there. And this is Valerie excited for, I believe, dessert to be coming, and Christine seems very happy about it.
Your Honor, I move that in as Defense Exhibit 370.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
370.
I had the
Sir, do you see
best
the exhibit on the screen?
flounder
Yes, I do.
on my
And what is
cruise.
that?
We took 2 cruises in 2022. This would be the one that's in November. This was the first time Valerie went ice skating. I took her ice skating on the cruise ship.
And was that Christine taking the picture, do you know?
I don't know
I
which cruise that
I
is.
think I took the picture myself.
Okay, was Christine on that cruise?
Christine was on the cruise, but she did not go ice skating.
Okay. Your Honor, I move that in as
Sounds like
Defense
me
Exhibit
breaking a leg.
371.
Any objection?
No.
371.
And sir, do you see this?
Yes,
And what is this a picture of?
this is on that same cruise. We were with our friends. Another couple. They have a son that's the same age as Valerie. They would be the ones that took this photo.
Your Honor, I move that in as Exhibit 372.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
372.
Do you remember this picture, sir?
Yes,
Where was that?
this is in New York when Valerie was still less than 1.
And did Christine take this picture?
Yes,
Your Honor, I move that in as Exhibit 373.
Any objection?
No objection.
373.
I think you skipped like 20.
Yeah. Me neither. Maybe it just seems like, do I want to be laid up for like 6 weeks? My dog is just
Sir, do
beside.
you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And who are the people in that photo?
This is my mother. Valerie calls her Gigi. And this is Valerie when she was still 0. This is at my mom's house in New York.
All right, move that in as Exhibit 374.
Any objection?
Judge, at this point, I am going to object to relevance.
You want to approach?
Are we just like showing a family photo book? This is when we went on the cruise. Oh, the first cruise when we went ice skating. Oh, and we were so excited for dessert when the chocolate lava cake came out. Oh my God. On my cruise, I got on the Price is Right Live and got in a fight with the lady. She told me to stop yelling. Don't worry, it's on video.
Sir, can you see the photo on the screen, Exhibit 375?
Oh, yes, I can.
And what is that?
Christine took a picture of me when Valerie was only a couple months old. Valerie snuggled up with me in bed.
Miserable.
All right, move that in
miserable.
as Exhibit 375.
Any objection?
Judge, objection, relevance, and cumulative.
I sustain the objection.
Sir, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, what's the significance of this photo in terms of your family?
This is taken in Georgia, in Brunswick, Georgia. This is the day of my graduation from the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center Academy. And Christine and Valerie had visited me for the graduation ceremony.
For the IRS,
All
go
right, move
through
this in
that.
as Counsel or Defense Exhibit 377.
I'm sorry, Judge, same objection, relevance, and cumulative.
Sustain the objection. Relevance and cumulative.
Sir, let's move on. I have a relationship with Juliana. When did that start?
I guess the relationship started as professional in October of 2021 when she came to be a au pair or a nanny for our family.
Okay, and she came through an agency?
Yes, from Cultural Care is the agency.
What were the parameters of the cultural care exchange that she came through? Do you know?
She would come and provide childcare for the family. It would include room and board, that she would be able to take educational opportunities, such as at a local community college. She can work, I believe, up to 45 hours a week, and she would generally provide a loving environment and activities for
Spit
Valerie.
it out, buddy.
And had you had a previous au pair before her?
Yes, we had an au pair prior to her. Her name was Amanda. She was with us for 2.5 years.
And so Juliana was your second au pair?
Correct.
And so explain kind of from when she got there in October 21, what were her duties and how did you utilize her time when you and Christine were working?
So once we moved to Virginia, our work schedules were, I guess, more erratic because my work schedule was not set any longer as well. So Christine would still be working generally the 12.5-hour days. But I may have to work at hours that could start at 5 in the morning and sometimes could be going late into the evening. So while generally I would know what I had to do for the day and maybe how long it would take, it wasn't convenient for conventional childcare in terms of having Valerie go to, say, a daycare, because generally they're not open at 6:30 in the morning until nighttime. So generally, a pair that we had would work similar hours to that Christine had. And when I got home from work, the au pair would be no longer working for the day, or if it was on the weekend that Christine had to work, the au pair generally would be off. So the au pair kind of worked 12-hour shifts coinciding with Christine's job most of the time. But sometimes if Christine didn't have that many hours during the regular work week, Christine may choose to have the au pair work other hours so that Christine could get things done around the house or other activities that she had to do.
So in terms of your contact with Juliana, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what kind of contact would you have on a daily basis prior to having a relationship? Prior to
having a relationship, it was mostly logistical. I may inform her when I was going to get home from work, if I had any delays, making sure that Valerie was getting to, say, dance lessons if Christine and I were not available then. Juliana would generally bring Valerie to preschool on the days that she was working. We might just talk about activities for her to do with Valerie on days that they were working.
Okay. And when was it that this turned from a working relationship to something else?
In August of 2022.
Okay. Describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how that happened.
So in August, Juliana and I were home alone. I had to work on both Saturday and Sunday. So I believe the original day was a Friday. Christine and Valerie were in New York,
I'm
and
not laughing. You guys are.
Juliana started texting me while I was preparing food in the kitchen. It was an unusual line of text as she was complaining about.
If I may just
Sure.
interrupt, where was she and where were you in the house?
I was in the kitchen. I believe she was upstairs in her room.
Okay. Sorry. Please go. Continue.
It was a unusual text conversation in terms of that Juliana was complaining about her dating activity and the people that she was seeing at the time. I don't particularly like texting, and
Oh,
I think I
Okay.
basically said that if she wanted to talk, that she could come to the kitchen.
Okay. And what, if anything, happened?
yeesh.
At that point, Juliana showed me quite a few screenshots of her dating app. I believe it was Hinge, and the people that were in the Hinge app all had similar names to me. Their names were Brendan and Brandon and Brennan, and these were people that she had matched with on the app.
And so, and how did it progress from there?
She was making quite a few jokes about it. At some point, I finished cooking, was eating. I don't believe that Juliana actually ate dinner at the same time. We talked about other unrelated things. Talked about there was some family history of alcoholism and how her family in Brazil was dealing with that. And we spent maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours talking about some random things, but also about her dating history. During this time, when she was talking about different people, she was described people that she was interested in, people that were taller, people that were older, and it appeared to me that she was,
And
along with the photos, the screenshots that she had showed, the people that she had matched with, that she was basically describing me. Also, I guess when we were having this conversation, we were sitting at the island in the kitchen. And she scooted her seat closer to me a couple times.
And so what did you do at that point?
I did not stop her advances. At some point, I told her that I was going to go upstairs, indicating that I was going to go to bed. And she said that she was tired and that she was going to do the same. A little bit of information about the upstairs of my house. Once you go upstairs, the master bedroom is to the left, and all the other bedrooms are to the right. So her bedroom, a guest bedroom, and Valerie's bedroom are to the right. When I went upstairs, I went to the left, and she also took a step towards the left with me. And we had a brief conversation there, and then she came with me into my bedroom.
Did you ever talk to her either that night or later about a continuing relationship?
We did not talk that night about continuing a relationship. We did talk about, I would say, in the next few days, I guess we spoke a little bit about the relationship. She had indicated that she was concerned that I was going to tell Christine and that she was going to be essentially fired and sent back to and lose her job, which I indicated that I wasn't going to tell her.
Okay. Did you tell her anything about what had just happened and what that was?
Yes, I mean, I that would be that we were having an affair. I had also indicated to her that I had previous affairs. Not really, this was just an affair, and not that there would be no other relationship, that there's,
Why?
And
that basically that this is something that I've had affairs previously, and that there's nothing that changes in mine and Christine's relationship.
now, was Christine aware of your affair?
I don't believe she was aware of the affair between me and Juliana.
Okay. All right. Real talk, y'all. Let me make sure that you guys can see me because this is always a problem. Okay. What is this man doing to entrance these women? Because it sure as heck ain't those looks. Is he this talk? Is he built like a wood cutting lumberman? I'm in a state of shock right now. So looking forward to seeing what comes of that. Yeah.
Was she aware of your previous affairs?
She was aware of at least 2 previous affairs.
Okay, and likewise, were you aware of her affairs?
Yes, I was also aware that she had affairs.
Okay, and how did the two of you manage in your relationship moving forward with those facts?
So I guess in about 2013, it was found that we had quite a few discussions. At that point, Christine was looking at the private healthcare, and she would travel for work for an entire week at a time, basically. And during this time, she would not be available to come home. Her shift was literally the entire week. So we were separated a lot. My job, I wasn't in my previous position, but my job also required some travel. I spent about 6 months in Jacksonville. I spent another month in Kansas City. And I was living in New York, but I also spent some time here in the DC area. So we were both traveling quite a lot for work. I guess that was poor for our relationship at that point. We had gone to therapy. We went to couples therapy for several months. We had decided that we were going to continue our marriage.
So now back to 2022. You and Juliana were having an affair outside of the knowledge of Christine.
Yes.
And how did that look on a daily basis?
It's not the same. It's not the same all the time, but I guess it depended, I guess, a lot on Christine's work schedule. So Juliana may spend time with me and Valerie during the day instead of when I would get home from work. Juliana used to just kind of leave. She might go to her room or she might go out prior to our relationship. And afterwards, it was more like she chose to do whatever I was going to do with Valerie, whether it was going to be stay home or, like I was Valerie's soccer coach. So when I would go to soccer practice, sometimes Juliana would go, even though I wasn't interacting with her at all. Basically, she was choosing to be with me whenever she could choose to be with me.
I agree, Mark.
So let's move toward the October timeframe of 2022.
It's one way to put it.
Did you ever create any sort of a plan with Juliana?
No, there was no plan. At this point, our relationship is maybe 6 to 8 weeks old. I think that it's an absurd line of questioning for something that is not serious, that a plan was made to get rid of my wife. That is absolutely crazy.
So with no plan, let's talk about Silver Eagle Armory.
Sure.
Okay. So how did that happen where Juliana went with you to the Silver Eagle Armory? So
it was basically one of those things where it was something that I was going to be doing outside the house. Generally, I would do a shooting range every other month to practice before my qualifications for my job.
And how many times did you have to qualify for your job?
You have to qualify twice a year, but there's practice there's practice on the opposite quarters. So there would be, I guess, 2 training and 2 qualifications. And generally, I would go practice prior to having one of those training sessions or qualifications at my job.
And how is it that Juliana ended up coming?
I was going to be going there anyways. she thought it would be fun to attend as well, as it was going to be out of the house. It was something that there wasn't going to be a risk of being found out by Christine.
Daughter,
So
wife.
the relationship continued into that October or December timeframe?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're, in terms of training people that go to Silver Eagle, is there any sort of training class or anything like that?
The first time you go there, they do a safety class,
Exactly.
making sure that you understand the fundamentals of using a firearm, that you treat all firearms if they're loaded. You never point a firearm at anything that you're not willing to shoot. Things like that, making sure that you understand the safety mechanisms of a firearm, and making sure that you understand range etiquette, that the gun should always be pointed down range, should never be pointed at another person, things like that.
Is this something that you knew through your training?
Yes, this is something that is also discussed in my trainings.
And so would this training that you're talking about at Silver Eagle be for someone who's never shot a gun before?
Yes, it would be for a kind of a beginner lesson.
Okay. And she went with you twice, correct?
Yes, she did.
Was there, in having her come to the range, was there any plan that she was going to back you up on some plan?
I mean, there was no plan at this point when we had gone to the range. There was none of the suspect email account. There was no FetLife account. There was no Telegram messages. None of that existed at the point that we went to the range.
Okay. Now, did FetLife,
If you guys could just make sure to like this, awesome, because I feel like we're diving into some crazy stuff right here. So let's get that out of the way. Thanks, guys.
or Telegram ever exist for you?
I did not know about them until after Christine died. I didn't get to see them until after Juliana's arrest.
And you're talking about the criminal reports, the police reports, things like that?
Yes.
The things that the Commonwealth gives?
Yes.
Okay. So let's move toward, so let me ask you this. There's some dates that came up recently. Some dates that came up recently relating to the FetLife account and lack of activity. Do you remember what occurred?
Do you guys want to see the Frenchie?
What was going on January 13th and 14th of 2023?
Not specifically, I don't.
Okay. Do you remember a weekend in Winchester?
Yes, I do remember a weekend in
Who was
Winchester.
with you in Winchester?
I went to Winchester for work. I was going to be there for 2 days. I was going to be there for 2 days. So I had a hotel, and Juliana there herself, not with me, later the evening of the first day, if I remember correctly.
And she stayed there with you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you remember what was going on at home with Christine and Valerie?
I believe my mother-in-law, Linda, was with Christine and Valerie.
Okay. That was on the 31st of January and February 1st?
I don't remember the exact date, but
okay. Would that be common for your mother-in-law or even your mother to come down to help out with the kids?
well, there's only Valerie, but yes, it is extremely common that the grandmothers came to visit us. Oftentimes, each of them may come almost as every 4 to 6 weeks, and they may spend between 5 and 10 days. As I had said before, Valerie was the only grandchild of both sides of the grandparents, and so there was quite a lot of support from the grandparents with Valerie.
Okay. Now, January 13th and January 14th, was that one of those days when someone was visiting, or that weekend?
I mean, they visited frequently, but I don't remember specifically that they visited that weekend.
Okay. Now, let's talk about February 24th. Can you describe for ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what were you doing that morning? What was your plan for the day with work or with family or?
Sure. February 23rd is my birthday, and the evening I was planning to drive to New York with Valerie. My friends in New York had planned a birthday party for me in New York.
And I'm sorry, the 23rd was your birthday. Are you talking about the next day?
The previous day.
Previous day of 23rd?
So I believe February 23rd was a Thursday, which was
Right.
my 38th birthday, and the 24th was the day that.
Okay. And my question was, when you were talking about going up, your friends were having a party, you're talking about the 24th?
Well, yes, because that was Friday, and I had to work on that Friday still, so I was going to go to New York in the evening.
Okay, so the 24th, your day was planned, and what did you fill your day with in terms of your plan?
So, but in terms of the day was an important day for me at work as well. There was a important meeting for one of my cases. There was going to be a undercover operation for one of my cases. And we were meeting with the undercover officer, a senior special agent, and my manager. And that meeting was scheduled for 9:30 that day. This was a particularly important meeting for me, as had been indicated that success in this case may lead to me getting a promotion to a senior special agent.
Okay, so had you ever heard that kind of talk before?
Yes, other people that were hired at a similar time as me, you have to hit certain
Just so you
milestones.
guys know, she has not sat next to me since I got back yesterday. She has not tried to sniff me. She has been giving me the ultimate cold shoulder. This was indeed the longest I've been away from her, like a full 2 weeks, 13 days. And she has no idea that I'm going back to Florida with my mom. So, which I'm going to be doing live from Florida, but we might be encountering some problems with Pearl's attitude next month. Okay, let's go.
Before you could progress to being a senior.
I didn't realize
So
he was
Friday,
that big of a deal, honestly.
February 24th, 2023 was potentially a milestone for you?
Yes,
Sure do, Mark.
it was supposed to be the meeting that would set up for the undercover operation, which was going to take place most likely on Tuesday. So we were going to go over all the documentation and the plan for the operation on Tuesday, the following week.
Okay. Now, so what did that mean in terms of your normal waking up or any other usual?
I woke up a little bit earlier that day. I was planning to get to my office, which is in Vienna, a little bit earlier, so that I could set up the conference room, have my documents ready, have my presentation ready, have the document for the operation available so that it could be signed off by management.
Okay. And so what time did you wake up that morning?
I believe I woke up 6:30.
Okay. And do you remember whether or not Christine was up?
Christine I had seen seemed to be awake and on her cell phone when I was getting ready and taking a shower to get ready for work.
Okay. Now, did you have any sort of interaction with her at that time?
Yes, she was aware that I had this meeting that day. She wished me luck. She said that she would talk to me before I went to New York with Valerie. Told me she loved me and have a good day.
Okay. So you carried on with your morning. What did that entail?
I went downstairs and got my work laptop out of the basement. My work from home space at the time was in the basement. I have a desk down there. It's because it's quiet. So I got my work stuff ready. I made sure that I had all of my equipment. Getting ready on a typical day would mean that I need to have my credentials, which includes my badge, my firearm, my holster, my handcuffs, two magazines, a belt clip badge, my work cell phone, and then generally I would also have my personal cell phone, my wallet, and my keys, which includes to my gun vehicle.
And so you had a holster that would hold the gun?
Yes.
And to what side was that holster?
On the right, because I'm right-handed.
Okay. And so presumably you're putting it in the right and the gun comes out of it on the right side?
Correct.
Okay. Now, who else was up when you, and what else was going on in the house?
Just wanted to make people
involved with?
aware.
I know Juliana was downstairs when I came upstairs from getting my work laptop out of the basement. Remember exactly what she was doing. I've been getting stuff ready.
Let me just stop you right there. Prior to that time, which would be February 24th, had you ever taken Christine's laptop or taken her phone out of a bag near the door?
No, I don't take her laptop. I have no reason to use her laptop. I don't have access to her laptop. It's not a password that I know. I have my own laptop, my own home desktop. I have actually I have two cell phones. I have a personal cell phone and a work cell phone. Our devices were completely separate.
And so in terms of, so That's fine. Of the idea of the laptop,
IRS.
where it would be on a regular basis. A recollection of where she would put her laptop?
Christine kept her laptop actually in several places. Sometimes it is by the front door when she gets home. She would have a backpack, and she would bring the backpack and drop it off, and generally go visit Valerie and our dog and me. And but usually she would go upstairs and she would bring her backpack with her. And her desk is in the sitting area of our master bedroom. So if you were to go into the master bedroom, you can kind of either go left or right. And to the left is the sitting area, which is where Christine her work has, and has her desk and her file and has her files for her job. And if you went to the right, it would be where the master bedroom is, and for a little bit further, the master bathroom. But she didn't also only keep her laptop at her desk. I would say the majority of her use would be sitting in bed with her back against the headboard while she had TV on or something like that. And when she would be done, she might put the laptop in between her nightstand and the bed, or
Good idea.
on the nightstand itself, or back on her desk, generally at night.
And so, and what about her phone? Where would there be a particular place where she might leave her phone?
I mean, her phone was basically always connected to her. Her phone wasn't really away from her basically ever. And she would keep it in her pocket.
So following up on the discussion we had about plan, was there ever any time, and I think you indicated that you never went and grabbed her laptop or whatever, was there ever any time you observed Juliana going to grab her laptop or her phone?
I never observed Juliana grab her laptop or her phone. Juliana also has her own laptop and phone.
Now, what, if anything, was Juliana and what were Juliana and Valerie supposed to be doing on February 24th?
Christine had scheduled for Valerie and Juliana to go to the zoo, and the main zoo in Washington, D.C.
Okay. Did you have any role in that?
Camilla.
I didn't have any role in planning the trip. I was aware of the trip.
And how did you become aware of the trip?
Christine had told me that that was something they were going to do.
Okay, so you never kind of forced that on her for the 24th?
No, it was also written on our calendar. That was shown earlier. Christine had written it on the calendar. She had also written it on Juliana's work schedule in her au pair book.
Now, what, if anything, did you know about the plan for that day for them?
I knew that they were planning to go in the morning. I don't recall if I knew what time they were supposed to go, but I knew they were going in the morning, and I knew that when I saw Juliana in the morning, that's what she was working on doing, was getting that ready. But Juliana had actually asked me to go get Valerie from upstairs. At some point in the morning, I heard Valerie's feet, meaning that she got out of her bed and pounded down the hallway and ran into my room. And so Juliana had asked me to get Valerie because Valerie wasn't in her room, to start getting her ready. So I got Valerie out of my bed, which happened after I had finished getting my equipment ready.
And did you see Christine there?
Yes, when I had gone back upstairs, Christine was there, and she was sitting up in bed, her blanket over her lap. She had both her laptop and her cell phone.
Okay, and what, if anything, did so when you took Valerie, where did you take her in order to?
Valerie was sleepy, so when I picked her up, she was still kind of limp, and I carried her downstairs to Juliana, and Juliana woke her up gently and changed her out of pajamas and into her clothes for the day.
Okay, did you take any part in getting ready, get sandwiches ready, get anything like that ready?
No, I was getting ready to leave myself. I wasn't, besides collecting Valerie, I wasn't doing anything to help them get ready for the day.
What time did you get out of the house that day?
Do you have any roughly 7, a couple minutes after 7.
Would that be a usual time for you to leave?
I would say a more usual time for me to leave is roughly 7:30.
Okay, and in this instance, you were going earlier for what reason?
I was going earlier to just make sure that I had plenty of time in Vienna to get my presentation ready and have.
Just so you guys know, I took this on vacation, and this was a lifesaver on the cruise. It's store, and it's just like a spinny thingy, and you can put anything in here, but I put makeup, and I brought a ton of these magnetic things because the walls on a cruise ship are magnetic. So you can hang just about anything from the walls. But I found this to be, that's a little bit clunky going in. You definitely have to check a bag. I would not recommend bringing this on a carry-on, but it was so helpful to always have like my hair and makeup stuff just right there. So I just wanted to mention that.
Conference room ready for when management was going to inspect my operation and documents for the operation was supposed to happen on Tuesday.
Okay, and I'm sorry, you said Vienna. Why Vienna?
Vienna is where my office is. We have a couple offices, but that's the one that I'm stationed out of.
That's the home
Master
office for
in
you?
the bra.
Yes, that's my home office. The main office is in Washington, D.C., but this is one of the satellite offices, and that's the one that I work out of.
And what time was that meeting set for?
It was set for 9:30.
Okay, so you left at 7 for what reason?
I left at 7. I was
Crap.
going to go get breakfast, and after breakfast, I was going to get on the 267 toll road and head towards my office.
Okay, and where did you end up going to breakfast that morning?
I went to McDonald's for breakfast.
Okay, is that a common occurrence for you?
I would say that I occasionally go to McDonald's, but I often pick up breakfast on my way to work. Not necessarily McDonald's. Sometimes it's bagel places or a place to get an egg sandwich.
Okay,
Things like that.
Bagel.
so it's not uncommon. You don't usually make your breakfast at home?
On the weekend, I usually make a bigger breakfast for everyone. But no, I don't make breakfast for myself before work.
So when you went to McDonald's, there you saw the video that the Commonwealth showed of you driving up to the drive-through.
Yes.
And it looks as though, well, it appears you go past the drive-through at one point. Is that correct?
I did. I circled the drive-through.
What was the reason for that?
McDonald's app has a QR code so that you get reward points and you can use the deals that you get. And when I initially opened it, it didn't provide me with my code. And that's why I was like blocking the drive-through. And so then I basically just got back in line once the code came up.
Okay, and so
It was pretty quick.
and you had that app on your phone at that time?
I've had the McDonald's app for several years.
Okay. Now, when you, so I'm sorry, explain to me a little bit about that app. I'm not familiar with it.
You can order directly from there, but that's generally not what I do because then the food gets made before you get there. So normally I just open up the QR code section and you can look at the deals, and the deals tell you, you can get a free hash brown with your breakfast, and you can load that, or you can get an orange juice or coffee with it, and then you'll get reward points, and you can use the reward points to get free food too. So
Okay.
it's kind of a
He's all
loyalty
about the
app
free
that's
McDonald's.
fine for many restaurants.
And so, when it didn't work the first time you came back around?
Yeah.
And did it work?
Yes, then my QR code came up and I went to order.
Okay, so when we see you in your work vehicle with your sunglasses on, you got your food after that?
Yes.
Okay, and then what did you do?
I pulled straight forward. The McDonald's, the shopping center that the McDonald's is in, McDonald's is kind of a standalone building. But basically you cross over the road. It's a road in the parking lot. You cross over the road. It's only, it's a two-way road. And basically right on the other side of that road is parking spaces. And I was going to sit there to eat my breakfast.
Okay, and what was the parking space? What was the landmark next to your parking space?
It's kind of in front of Chuck E. Cheese, but it's really only a few feet from the exit of the drive-thru.
Okay, and so you went there to go eat your sandwich?
Yes, but I started with eating a cookie from Midnight Treats that my friends had brought me for my birthday the day before. If you're familiar with a place like Crumble, they're large cookies.
Okay.
I ate that first.
Okay, so you ate the cookie, and then what happened?
I started my car back up and went back to McDonald's to use the restroom.
Okay, and is that in the video the second parking or the first parking space that you went into?
Yes, so you see me park next to the side entrance of McDonald's.
Yes. And then what, if anything, I mean, you went to the restroom, so what happened then?
As I was finishing up in the restroom, I received a call from Juliana.
And without saying what she said, what did you do?
I left the restroom and went back to my car quickly.
And was she alarmed at the time?
She sounded that she was very stressed.
Okay, and did you tell her that you were coming back?
I did not tell her that I was coming back on that original phone call. On the original phone call, I told her that I was going to call Christine.
Okay, and did you do that?
I did try to call Christine, but I did not reach her.
Okay. And so in terms of your communications with Christine, was that unusual for her to not pick up the phone?
I wouldn't say that it's unusual for Christine not to pick up the phone, but I would say it's unusual that her phone would go directly to voicemail. Many times if I would call her, she could be busy at work, but her phone would probably be on silent, and therefore it would ring and then go to voicemail. And then she might text me or call me back and let me know when she can call me back. So, but it was unusual that her phone went directly to voicemail.
Okay. Now, and so what did that cause you to do?
I believe I tried to call Christine again, of which it went to voicemail straight again. After that, I called Juliana back, and I told Juliana not to go in the house, and that I was going to return to the house.
Okay. And did you do that?
I did.
How long did it take you to think to get back to the house?
10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes, hard to say.
How long would it normally take?
I guess it depends on, there's a couple traffic lights.
Dude.
8 to 12 minutes.
Were you, at that point, were you rushing? Were you
Objection leading.
what if, at that point, how was it that you were proceeding back to the house after the two phone calls that Christine didn't answer and the phone calls you received from Juliana?
I started driving quickly back to the house. I took the most direct route back to the house.
Okay. Now, if I can just stop you right there. Was there any plan for how something would happen with Juliana on February 24th?
There was no plan with Juliana on February 24th. As far as I knew, Juliana was going to be going to the zoo with Valerie.
Haven't we already covered this?
Christine had just taken off from work, and I understood that she was going to be home, but I didn't know anything else. At that point, I was more concerned with my day of what I had to do at my job.
Of course you were.
Prior to leaving the house, did you do anything with anyone's devices other than your own?
I didn't touch anyone else's devices that I remember that morning. I was just getting ready for work.
Okay. Specifically, did you touch Christine's devices, either of those?
Didn't we just
No, I did
do
not touch her
this?
devices.
Meaning the laptop and the phone?
No, I did not touch her devices.
Mr. Carroll, is this a good time, or do you have more questions?
May I just look one
Sure,
second? Judge, this might be a good break.
Okay, so you're right.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, since it's 5 o'clock right now, so we'll go ahead and take our evening break. Please discuss the case with anybody. Don't do any outside research. I understand that everybody is available for Friday. Again, I'm sorry that I have to be, thank you for being flexible. I'm sorry that we have to keep changing things. I know somebody can't get here until around 9:30. We'll restore on the dot for us.
All right. See what I'm
Okay?
doing with the feed? I'm hitting the like button. Please make sure you do that for me. And thankfully, I already have it lined up to go today. But before we do that, I've had a lot of people ask, and I'm going to show you something great that happened yesterday that relates to some coverage that I've shared openly on my channel. This was actually the very first jury trial that I ever covered on my channel. So here you guys go. No, I don't want Oak Street. Maybe if I go like this. There we go. And one of the people in this.
It's so outdated. Time for a change.
At Oak Street Health, we're changing what it means to get older by focusing on keeping you
One of
healthy.
the people
I just made
in
this
this
appointment
video
yesterday. Now that's more like it.
is a
Here, every member of your
the
team
channel.
works together to manage all your healthcare needs.
Well, out with the old way of aging and in with the new.
We specialize in caring for older adults like you. So call Oak Street Health today.
Tonight, Glendon Township trustees made a final decision. The future of a police officer at the center of a deadly shooting in 2023. In a 3-0 vote, trustees reinstated Connor Grump. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for NBC4 at 11. I'm Colleen Marshall.
Hello to you. I'm Kerry Charles. Grubb had been on paid administrative leave since killing 21-year-old Takaya Young and her unborn baby in a Kroger parking lot. NBC4's Samantha Bender shares reaction.
In an executive session that lasted just over 10 minutes, it was decided unanimously that Officer...
I almost cried. It should have came sooner, but I was very happy that it finally happened.
For some residents, the outcome brings closure. Young family's attorney, Sean Walton, says in a statement, quote, "2 mother because Connor Grubb chose violence over de-escalation." He went on to say, quote, "Blendon Township's message is clear. Officers who escalate nonviolent encounters into executions will be protected, not punished."
The escalation came from her. She was not free to leave.
The shooting happened after Young was suspected of stealing liquor from a Kroger. Officers approached her car and repeatedly ordered her to get out. But police say she drove forward, hitting Grubb with her car and briefly lifting his feet off the ground. Grubb then fired one fatal shot into the vehicle.
I get it. It's tragic. Shouldn't have happened.
That's our dude.
Decision.
In November, a jury acquitted Grubb of murder, and in December, a use of force review board was created, made up of 5 members, including outside law enforcement and an elected official from another township. They reviewed evidence from the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation and unanimously found no violations of department policy.
Blendon Township has one of the best police departments, for me, in the state probably.
All 3 trustees declined an interview tonight, but shared a statement saying, quote, "The death of Takaya Young and her unborn child was a profound tragedy for her family and our community. The trustees respect the conclusions reached through these independent legal and administrative proceedings." Meantime, Walton says the Young family will continue pursuing accountability through a civil lawsuit. Blendon Township Police Chief John Belford also declined an interview, telling me this was a Board of Trustees matter. According to township trustees, Officer Grubb will return to duty in accordance with established department procedures, including any required fitness for duty evaluations. Local for you in Blendon Township.
So just want to thank Stephen for letting us know that he was going to be on TV. We appreciate having him as a member. And look at this. We have another member in the house. What's up, Sydney? Thanks for joining us. We are in between the trial with the au pair, and I told you guys that I would show that video. So if you guys were with me since the beginning, you know that I have advocated for Connor Grubb, and I advocate for the jury's decision, regardless of what decision they were going to make, because juries are incredible and it's a taxing duty that they have to perform. But with that being said, thank you, Stephen, for speaking to the press. Appreciate you guys. And let's get back to it. Oh, if you could, please make sure to like the stream, subscribe. We are having a little bit of a slow day getting back into the algorithm, trying to get back into the flow of things. So I appreciate all the help that you guys can give me. All right, let's get started here. And then during the next break, I'll tell you guys about my fight on stage in the audience for The Price is Right live. I took home this incredible masterpiece of a gift. So
had you specifically touched the laptop that you know was Christine's laptop that she used for work?
No, I did not.
Or her phone?
No, I didn't touch either the laptop or her phone.
Now, we were speaking about February 24th, 2023, at the time that we broke for the night last night, one of the things that I wanted to get into, and it will require us to go back, Juliana Perez was your pair, correct?
Yes.
And she worked through a company, correct?
Yes.
And what were the limitations in terms of what she could do in terms of work, and how long could she stay?
In general, she could work, I believe, 45 hours a week. Her term for how long she could stay, she had a contract with us for a year.
Okay. And at the time that you told the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that you and she started a relationship, had she wanted to extend at that point?
She had already extended her visa for a second year. So I believe it was October of 21 that she came for her first year. And then she extended for a second year, which would have gone to October of 23. But no, she had not indicated anything about extending further.
Okay.
And she couldn't be extended further as an au pair at that point, is my understanding.
But when she first came, she was, how long was she supposed to be staying?
1 year.
Okay. And there came a time where she requested to extend. When did that happen in terms of the time frame we're talking about?
Maybe that summer, that summer prior to that summer of 22.
22. Okay. Would that have been prior to the two of you, your relationship changing?
I believe it had been discussed. I believe it had been discussed prior to that, but I don't know that decisions were made.
Okay. Now, as part of her cultural care obligations or your obligations, what did you have to do on your side to assist her?
I didn't do anything to assist her. Christine was the one that handled all the cultural care forms, payments.
Okay.
Whether or not to extend her. I didn't do anything with that process, really.
Okay. And so that was pretty much mainly Christine, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe that she had all the contact with, I don't know the exact title, but the person that manages the au pairs.
Okay. Well, then if she had done that, then I won't ask you any further questions about that. Now, we were previously talking about February 24th, 2023. And I think you had described for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that you had come back from the McDonald's, correct?
Yes.
And when you arrived back from the McDonald's, who did you see there?
Valerie and Juliana were at my white Ford Fusion vehicle. They were parked in the cul-de-sac, kind of in my neighbor's house, just outside my driveway.
And do you recall, was the car running? Were they in the car? Were they out of the car?
They were in the car at that point. I don't recall if it was running. It's a hybrid, so you don't necessarily hear the engine when it's kind of in idle.
Okay. And when you approached Juliana, what, if anything, did you do?
I asked her if the person just went into the house, as that was a question from previously, and she had indicated yes.
Okay. And was there a specific, at that point, did you know how the person got into the house?
Probably just did it
I
again.
knew that they got into the house through the front door, but I didn't know more than that. It sounded to me at that point that they just went into the house without delay. Yes.
Okay. In terms of what you were told by others?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what did you do at that point?
I told Juliana to stay at the car.
Okay. And what about regard to Valerie?
I didn't address Valerie specifically, but they were in the car, and I had just told Juliana specifically to stay at the car.
In doing that, was it your intent that she would stay with Valerie?
Yes.
Okay. At that point, after you told her that, what did you do?
I walked partially down my driveway.
Yeah, it is kind
My
of
driveway is kind of a little bit long because it splits between me and my neighbor's driveway. And this was so that I could see a little bit better of what was going on. And this is when I saw a silver Jeep in the driveway, and that that my front door was closed.
Now, so at this point, knowing what you know at the point that you saw the silver Jeep, how did that make you feel, and what were you concerned about at that point?
I guess it made me very anxious. I didn't know what was going on. I had concerns that this was going to be an affair, but I didn't know really what was going on at that point.
Okay. Did you think to call 911 at that point?
I didn't think that it wasn't on my mind at this point that this was going to be, that this was some type of violent or threatening encounter.
Okay. So what, if anything, did you do at that point?
I didn't continue going down the driveway. I basically made a right, which would be over the grass of my property, and headed towards my back fence.
Okay. Now, but you were closer to the front door, is that correct?
Yes, I was closer to the front door at that point.
Okay. Why didn't you go through the front door?
My front door has a electronic door lock. You would enter a code in order to gain access to the door, and every button that you push makes a beeping noise, and then the deadbolt makes a mechanical noise.
He was like trying to catch her
as it unlocks. It makes quite a bit of noise, and I didn't want all of that noise.
And what was your concern if there was going to be noise in the front area of your house?
I didn't know what was going on. If there was an affair going on, I didn't want to alert it at that point. I also thought about just getting the lunches for for Valerie and Juliana that they were missing.
She's like,
thought.
Okay. Now, you're talking about the lunches. Why do you say that?
Juliana had informed me that she did not bring the lunches that she was going to take to the zoo for her and Valerie.
Okay. And moving forward, did you ultimately find those lunches in the refrigerator?
They were in I believe, the upper left of the refrigerator.
Okay. So if you can, for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, give them an idea of from the front door, and I think it shows in some of the body worn camera, but if you could explain it, the front door and the noise from the front door was a concern to you. Why, based on the layout of the house?
So the front door kind of leads to the foyer. The foyer is 2 levels and goes to, basically it echoes right to the top of the stairs. The stairs are immediately to the right of the front door. And when, if you were to go up the stairs, the hallway is open to the foyer.
And is it easy to hear what happens at the front door?
Basically everywhere on the main level can hear when the front door beeps and unlocks.
Okay, so we left off where you were going around the back to the backyard.
Yes.
What, if anything, did you do at that point?
I unlocked my back gate. There's a carabiner latch on there to make sure that the dog does not unlatch it. So I unlatched that carabiner and reclosed the gate, and then headed around back to my back basement door.
Okay, and did you access the house?
Yes, I unlocked the door, and while I was unlocking the door, my dog was in the basement, which is unusual, as the basement has a door that's pretty much always closed. So my dog Lily doesn't have access to the basement normally, and she was jumping up and down at the back door when I was going down there.
Now let's just talk about the locked door from the back where you came in. How did you access that?
With my key.
Okay, and in general, were your doors locked when you left the house?
Yes.
Okay, was that something that you took care to make sure of?
I mean, the basement door wasn't used too frequently, so it remained locked almost all the time. Sometimes the back door by sometimes the back door by the deck. Sometimes that would be forgotten to be unlocked because that's the door that we let the dog in and out of 20 times a day.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So you were in the basement and you were there with your dog. What's your dog's name?
Lily.
And what, if anything, did you notice about Lily's behavior when you went in the basement?
Lily was kind of frantic is how I would describe it. She's normally pretty calm when members of the family come home. She'll just normally greet you and go about her business. She's not a young dog, but she was jumping up and down, and as I went in, she was spinning in circles and whining and I guess kind of chattering. She doesn't really bark. She kind of howls and moans and growls in terms of her communication.
Okay. And was she doing those things?
Yes.
And I think you indicated that there was a gate between the basement and the upstairs. Is that correct?
Well, when I mentioned the gate, I meant the gate to the backyard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But when I entered the basement, there was also a baby gate, but we used the gate for the dog. But not all
having some technical
not really all the time.
issues. Give me 1 second, guys.
The gate was blocking the stairs to go upstairs. The gate is, sometimes we would use it outside at the back deck to prevent the dog from going downstairs if it was particularly muddy out, or sometimes when some of the older members of our family were at the house, we would block the stairs going upstairs so that Lily would not bump into some of the older members of our family that aren't as stable. But the gate wasn't generally in use. The gate was usually in my garage and Lily would have access to the main floor of the house and the upstairs of the house generally.
And there's a dog bed in your bedroom, is that correct?
Yes.
Would Lily have access to that part of the house?
Yes, Lily would have access to my bedroom generally at all points. She would generally sleep in my room.
Okay. Now, and likewise, would she have access to what was Juliana's room and Valerie's room and all the other rooms?
She didn't normally have access to Juliana's room because Juliana kept her door closed all the time. She did have access to Valerie's room, but she didn't tend to go into Valerie's room unless someone else was also in Valerie's room.
Okay. Now, so you're in the basement, and what happened next?
As I was opening the basement door, I kind of, I guess, shooed Lily inside. She was kind of in the way of me going inside. But I saw that Juliana and Valerie were coming down the brick path, maybe 20, 30 feet away after I had opened the door. And Juliana was carrying Valerie.
Hi, Sydney.
And had followed me.
And after your last discussion with Juliana, had you communicated with her in any way to come down to the house?
I never told her to come down to the house.
Okay. So your previous statement of stay in the car was still standing, I guess?
I believe that it was. After I told her, that was how I ended my conversation, for her to stay in the car.
Okay. So when they got to the basement, what, if anything, did you do?
I allowed them access to the basement. I had the door, I guess, partially open. And then as they came in, I closed the door behind them.
Okay. And did you indicate to Juliana and Valerie anything relating to where they should stay?
We had a conversation in the basement. Again, I had searched the basement a little bit. There's mainly one large room in the basement. There's also a bedroom, but in the large room where the couches are and the TV is, and there was workout equipment in there at that point. I looked around that room for a little bit and didn't see anybody. Very short time. But
why were you looking around the basement?
Yeah.
Well, I thought that there was somebody in the house, but I didn't know where that person was.
Okay. And so in terms of your search of the basement, did you do it like a law enforcement officer?
I would say that it was a quick search. The lights were off in the basement when I arrived, and I didn't hear any people or movement in the basement other than ourselves and the dog. So I wouldn't say, I didn't go into like the bedroom closet in the basement or check behind the shower curtain. I didn't do things like that in terms of a search. So, but I did, I guess, walk the main room. There wasn't anyone by the couches. There wasn't anyone by my desk, things like that.
Okay, and were those all in the open area?
Yes.
And did you look into any of the other areas? I mean,
I did open the bedroom. I did open the bedroom basement. I also didn't observe anyone there.
Okay. So whatever concern that caused you to do that you didn't have that any further, correct?
I did not have further concern that there was someone else in the basement that shouldn't be there.
Okay. So what, if anything, did you do next? And frankly, what instructions did you have for Juliana and Valerie?
So I instructed Juliana. Well, actually, Valerie looked nervous. She was kind of wide-eyed looking at me, and I knelt down to her, and I told her to stay there with Juliana, and she said, "Okay, Daddy."
And so at that point, when you were in the basement, was there anything that caused your concern level to change from when you previously testified that you were outside?
It bothered me that the dog was in the basement, as she's not normally there. But I guess I was glad that she was in the basement at that point with Juliana and Valerie. Valerie loves Lily a lot and
sound confident.
spends quite a lot of time with her. But it was also weird that, sorry, going back to Lily, it was also weird that Lily's food bowl was in the basement and it was spilled all over the floor. I think that also shows that Lily was in a bit of a frantic state.
And so where would Lily normally eat her food?
Her dog bowl is always in the living room. Her dog bowl is always in the dining room where there's placemats for the dog on the floor, and that's where her water and food bowl are.
So the basement level is the lower level, correct?
Yes.
Where would that level that you're saying where Lily normally eats be?
That would be on the main level of the house where the living room, kitchen, dining room is.
Okay, and as you walk up the stairs from the basement, can you give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury some indication as to what direction you would go to find that?
So if you go up the basement stairs, there's a door that would need to be opened. Facing away from the basement stairs to the left would be the stairs to go up. Kind of directly in front of you would be a half bathroom. Slightly to the right would be I guess a very, very short hallway, only a couple feet. To the right would lead to the living room. To the left, so walking down that very, very short hallway, to the right would be the living room. To the left would be the kitchen, and through the hallway, through the doorway of the kitchen would be, through the doorway of the kitchen would be the dining room where Lily's food bowl would be.
At some point, did you leave the basement?
I spoke to Juliana and Valerie. I stepped over the dog gate.
And Lily attempt to follow? Okay, so
She can't jump over the gate.
So explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to go up to the next level, you just was it one flight of stairs, two flights of stairs?
I mean, I would call it one flight of stairs, but it's, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 stairs, and then a small landing, and then 7 or 8 stairs again to the door.
Okay, and the door would be the door to the basement?
Yes.
Okay, so did you go up that basement stairs?
Yes, I did.
And what, if anything, were you intending on doing when you went up there?
Finding out what was going on in my house.
When you got to that level, who was there?
When I went up the stairs, I closed the basement door behind me. I did not immediately see anybody on the main floor of my house. And I walked down that very short hallway past the half bathroom so that I could see into the living room and the kitchen area, of which I did not see anybody.
Okay, and was that a full search or just in the moment?
I gotta try. Guys, I'll be right back.
I walked past the kitchen table, and I walked past the countertop, and also looked in the dining room. So I would say that I looked on the main floor of the house.
So you didn't see anyone on the main floor of the house?
No.
Did you hear anyone?
While I was looking on the main floor of the house, I heard sounds from upstairs.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you do at that point?
I moved closer to the upstairs. I moved closer to the upstairs stairs, to the stairs heading upstairs, but still on the main floor of the house.
Okay. And was that a better position to hear or know what's going on?
That's where the sound seemed to be coming from. There's regular ceiling over the kitchen and living room area, but in the foyer area that leads to upstairs, which is where I heard the sounds coming from.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you hear?
I heard the sounds of, I would say, moaning, as well as sound of skin on skin contact.
And what did you think was going on at that point?
Sex.
Okay. Why didn't you call 911?
Well, at that point, that doesn't seem like an emergency for the police to be involved in, was my thought at that moment.
Okay. Now, what were you thinking at that point when you decided what that was?
I guess I was emotional at that point. While Christine and I had affairs, we had never seen each other with anyone. No one was ever caught in the act or anything like that. Hearing what I thought was sex was upsetting.
So what were you thinking to do? What was your thought process then?
I thought about just getting the lunches and giving them to Valerie and Juliana and having them leave. I thought about just ignoring the situation and going to work and dealing with this after work, hopefully when no one else is there. I thought about how Christine had just taken off the day before because she was originally supposed to be working on the 24th. And I thought about, well, this seems to be why. I thought about, well, maybe this is why she took off on the 24th.
Okay.
Because I didn't know that she took off on the 24th until the night of the 23rd.
So what made you stop from your initial thought of leaving and getting the lunches and letting Juliana and Valerie go to the zoo?
I guess as my mind was kind of racing in this moment, the sound, I guess, sounded like it changed to me. Instead of what I thought was the sounds of sex, I thought that the impact sounded forceful, and that Christine's moaning sounded painful and not pleasurable, and that the distance between the sound of the skin on skin contact sounded too far apart for sex, and I thought that maybe she was being hurt.
So what did you do?
I started to go up the stairs.
Okay. Did you draw your weapon?
Are you in here?
While I was walking up the stairs, I did unholster my weapon, and I angled my body going up the stairs so that I was facing the bedroom door, which once you go up several of the stairs, I can see because I'm taller, but I could see the bedroom door was partially open, maybe 8 to 12 inches, something like that. But I couldn't really see in the door.
But were you able to determine whether that was the area where these sounds were coming from?
That is, I could tell that was the direction of the sound was coming from the master bedroom area. That's the only door towards the left once you go upstairs.
Okay. When you, from the main landing by the front door, to get to the top level, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the level that you're talking about where the sounds were coming from.
So once again, you would go up several stairs, and then there would be a small landing, and then you would go up one step to another small landing, in which then you would kind of U-turn or switch back and go up another 8 or 9 stairs to the top floor. I don't know exactly how many stairs, maybe 16 or 18 total, but like 8 at the bottom, the landing, and 8 at the top, and then you're at the upstairs hallway.
Okay. Given what you'd heard, did you go right?
The door opened on the main floor when I was by the landing. When I heard the door open on the main floor, I saw Juliana come partially at the basement door.
Okay, and so you were both on the same level at that point?
No, I was on the stairs, heading up the stairs, and I kind of only did a quick glance, seeing that Juliana was there, and then I continued up the stairs.
And did you give her any instructions as to whether to go back to the basement?
I didn't say anything to her.
Okay, so you continued on?
Yes.
But you realized she was there?
I did.
What, if anything, did you do next?
I continued up the stairs and made a left towards the master bedroom.
Okay, and in terms of the landing where the master bedroom is located, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what way you had to go from the top of the stairs.
I went to the left, as that's the way towards the master bedroom. There's double doors to the master bedroom. To the right would be a bathroom, the guest room, Valerie's bedroom, and Juliana's bedroom.
Now, so you went left at this point?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you do at that point outside the room?
Outside the room, I headed towards the door, and I pushed the right of the double doors open with my foot.
And did you otherwise have something in your hands?
Yes, I had my firearm in my hands.
Okay. And when you pushed with your foot, which foot was it?
My right foot.
Okay. And were you able to see or hear any more when you did that?
Pushing the door open with my right foot revealed Christine, and who I now know is Joseph Ryan. They were on the floor near the bottom left of my bed, kind of in front of the master bathroom door, just past the bed, in between the bed and the tall dresser.
Okay. So you just described it as the bottom left. Describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how do you come to bottom left? What position are you in order to describe it that way? If you were in the bed.
Yes, if you were in the bed or facing the TV that's in there, the left would be the bottom left corner. That would be the part that's closest to the master bathroom.
Okay, thank you. And so you indicated you saw Joseph Ryan and Christine.
Yes.
Had you ever seen Joseph Ryan before?
I had never seen Joseph Ryan before.
Had you ever had any communications with him before?
On February 24th is the only time I had communications with him in that room.
Okay, so when you observed this, and please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury exactly what you observed with regard to his contact with Christine.
Christine was, I would describe as nude and on all fours, on her hands and knees, and Joe Ryan was behind her, like angled slightly behind her, and from my position at the door, slightly to the left of her. He was clothed, and he was looking directly at me as I opened the door.
Wow.
And when you first caught eye contact with him, where exactly were you in relation to the bed, and where were they?
No, I was maybe one step into the room.
Okay. Now, when you observed him, what, if anything, did you observe about the situation prior to anything being said?
I observed, basically, as soon as I went in the room, it appeared that Christine tried to get up, but I guess I'm unsure if it's that Christine tried to get up or if I pulled her up. It's hard. I can't really tell, but Christine went from being on all fours, hands and knees, to more like being on her knees.
Now, had you said anything to them or to him specifically?
Almost immediately, I said police.
Okay, and what was your intention in doing that?
Alerting the room that I was there.
Okay, and at the time that you said police, was your gun in plain sight?
Yes, I was holding my gun forward.
I often yell police when I walk into a room.
My badge is on my belt, so that could. I don't know if he could see it, but it is a gold badge that is attached to my belt.
And so, if you think of it as a clock around you, where would at what point can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where your badge would be?
Like 11 o'clock. So just to kind of in front of my left pants pocket.
Okay. And were you wearing a jacket over that area?
I was wearing a jacket that day.
Do you know if it was covering it or not?
No, I don't know if it was covering. I don't know if it was covering it at that moment. I don't remember if my jacket was zipped or not, and it's February, so
okay.
I'm not sure if my jacket is zipped or not.
In terms of seeing the badge, you didn't pull it out and show it or anything?
I did not.
Okay. You just said police?
Yes.
And what happened from there?
Christine responded first. Christine said, Brendan, he has a knife.
Now, before she said that, could you tell, did you see any weapons at that point?
I didn't see a weapon. I didn't see a weapon at my initial viewing of the scene in that first couple seconds.
And after Christine said that to you, were you able to identify it?
I observed that there was something silver in Joe Ryan's right hand, but it was still difficult to see, as part of it would be in his grip and part of it seemed to be side of Christine's hair.
Okay, and I think you'd said previously, did Christine have long hair?
Christine had pretty long hair that goes down past the middle of her back. It's a curly, thick brown. She had a lot of hair.
Okay. Now, just so we're clear, when at the time that you said police, what was the position of Joe Ryan and what was the position of Christine?
Joe Ryan was also on the floor. I would say that he was in a kneeling position. On the floor, partially behind Christine, partially behind the bed.
Okay, and the bed, is the bed high?
The bed is, I would say the bed is very high for a lot of people. It has storage dressers underneath the bed, and there was a foundation under it, and then the mattress itself is a thick mattress too.
Okay, so from your vantage, have you changed your vantage point? I think you'd say one step into the room.
Yeah, I had only basically gone one, maybe two steps into the room, and I didn't go further. I didn't go further at that point.
Now, when you said police, what, if anything, did Ryan say to you?
Joe Ryan didn't say something until after I told him to drop the knife.
Okay, and what was his response?
He told me to drop my gun.
And at that point, was there? Well, let me ask you this: you saw a knife there. What were you thinking in terms of Joe Ryan with a knife to Christine's neck?
What?
I was extremely terrified. I don't know that I've ever been more panicked in my life.
And so what were you thinking that you needed to do?
I was hoping to de-escalate the situation. did not want to shoot him. I wanted him to let her go.
And so after he said you dropped the gun, what did you say?
I repeated to drop the knife and to let her go.
And did he say anything to you?
He did. He told me that she was hers. That she was hers, and that she gave herself to me. And Christine kind of yelled, moaned at this point also.
Okay, I'm sorry. You said she was hers.
She was his. Sorry, she was his.
Can you say the whole statement?
He said that she was his, and that she gave herself to him, to me, is what she gave herself to me, is what he said.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I interrupted. What happened then?
Christine kind of yelled or moaned, or both, and it seems that she went to her left, my right, a little bit.
Okay. Now, when she yelled or moaned, what did that indicate to you?
I thought that she was being injured, being stabbed.
Did you see him stab her?
It appeared putting forward movement towards, or was putting forward movement towards with the knife, but I couldn't see Christine's neck or face really at that point. Her hair was in the way.
Okay. So if you can, explain for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury why it was you couldn't see Christine's face or her neck.
Christine's hair was, I would describe as kind of wild at this point. Not normally it's brushed and straight, or well, not really. I mean, it's still curly, but it's more kept.
This
is kind of large and frizzy at this point, and I couldn't really see very well.
Okay. And
this is like some Jodi Arias craziness.
so I interviewed you. So well, go ahead and tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you were following up with.
I'm sorry, I don't.
So you indicated in your previous answer that you couldn't see whether or not he had stabbed her in the neck or made contact with the neck.
Correct.
Okay. And that she had made some sort of a sound and pulled away.
Yes. So she kind of moved to her left and to my right, but my best guess is that he had a grip on maybe the back of her neck, maybe the back of her hair. I can't see his left hand at this point, and so she did not really go anywhere.
Did she appear to be injured greater than what you thought when you saw her?
It appeared that she had some amount. I believe that she had some amount of blood in her hair at this point.
Where you could see it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me just ask you this. Other than your training, have you ever shot a person before?
I had never used my firearm outside of a ranged situation.
What do you think?
Just to clarify my question, it sounds like you had shot somebody in training. You just did training, correct?
I did not shoot anybody in training. I have not used my weapon in duty at any point, or the only time I had used my firearm was at a gun range or at training.
Okay. Was that a concern for you while you were in the moment?
There wasn't a lot of space between Joe and Christine. I was very fearful of hitting Christine.
What, if anything, when the time came, well, were you considering using your firearm?
Yes.
At what point did that start?
I mean, very quickly in the situation, but there's only, his head isn't far from Christine's head. I guess his part of his body is partially behind Christine's body, part behind the bed. So
You delayed from your first instinct?
Judge, objection is deleting.
What, if anything, did you do
That
that?
was sustained objection.
I mean,
This shit's wild.
I know that I told him to let her go at least one more time. And then I know that I told him that he was going to be under arrest. I missed that at some point he asked for me to leave, and at a different point he asked for himself to leave.
And what did you say to those requests?
At that point, that was when I told him that he was under arrest.
Okay. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what, if anything, took place that caused you to discharge your firearm?
It appeared that he did a very forceful stab towards Christine, and Christine kind of spun away from him. So she was facing towards me, and I guess she like rotated as she spun away from him and landed on her stomach on the ground. This kind of had Joe now like on his knees, kind of facing Christine, of which I saw him do a downward stabbing stroke, and that's when I fired at him.
And when you fired, were you able to determine whether or not you made contact?
I didn't know where I made contact, but I believed that I made contact as he moved.
Okay.
He moved backwards, He moved backwards a little bit away from Christine at that point.
And what did you do?
I immediately hurried towards Christine, and I actually stepped over her. And I told her to stay down as I stepped over her. I did this so that I could look at Joe Ryan and see if he was still a threat.
And what, if anything, did you see when you went over there?
I saw the knife on the floor.
Okay, was that the first time you saw the knife in its full?
That was the first time I could fully see the knife. The other times, it was in his grip and obscured by Christine's hair.
And the knife that you saw is the same knife that you've seen in the Commonwealth's photos?
Yes.
Okay.
In the what? What?
Before, at some point, did you help Christine?
At that moment, I did not help Christine yet. I used my foot and dragged the knife towards me with my toe to move the knife away from Joe.
Okay, so if you can, so that there's an image in their minds, can you explain from step over Christine to doing what you just said with the knife?
I probably need to take another step or two to get to Joe. The knife was very close to Joe. Like I reached my right foot forward. I still had my gun pointed at him. So I reached my right foot forward, and I guess it stuck my toe out and dragged it back towards me so that it was not next to him.
Okay, and what would you say the distance was where the knife was when you first touched it with your foot? I'm sorry, the distance from Joe Ryan when you first touched it with your foot?
Not more than a foot and a half.
Okay, and when you removed it?
Guys, this is bonkers. If you could please make sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. The more you interact with the chat and you subscribe and you like the stream, the more likely you are to receive a free membership. Free memberships come with emojis, discounts on merch. We're going to be doing a giveaway next week. There's a whole lot going on, but members only chats. Before we get any further into this, please make sure to hit that like button to help the algorithm because I've been gone for a week. So got to get back in the swing of things. Thanks, guys. And thanks to the mods. Maybe's here. If you guys want to say thank you to Maybe, she's incredible.
From the area around him, how far was it to Ryan?
Maybe 5 or 6 feet, but immediately next to me.
Okay.
I didn't notice that Joe was moving. And
well, let me ask you this. Did you ever touch Joe?
I never touched Joe at any point during this encounter.
Okay. And when you moved the knife, what did you then, what happened next?
I turned around and faced Christine. And I kneeled down next to her.
Okay. And what was her position at the time that you kneeled down next to her?
At that point, she was on her stomach. She was kind of writhing back and forth, kind of rolling back and forth. And I guess at some point, pretty quickly, she rolled over onto her back.
Was that with your assistance?
At that point, she was doing that on herself. I don't think that I helped her roll onto her back.
Okay. What, if anything, were you doing to assist her at that point?
So she was holding her neck. She told me that she couldn't see. And
occipital lobe?
I asked her to let me see, indicating what, that her hand was indicating that her hand was covering her neck. And she very shakily removed her hand from her neck, and I could see the wound on the right side of her neck.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you do at that point?
She told me to put my hand there, and she had put her hand back on her neck, and then I put my left, pulled her hand from underneath mine and put her hand back on top of my hand, and put pressure on my hand, I think indicating that she wanted more pressure on the wound.
And did you do that?
Yes, I had.
Okay.
I had my hands on hers, trying to apply pressure.
And she was helping you?
Yes.
And so at that point, you asked Juliana to call 911?
At that point, I noticed that Juliana was in the room. And I told Juliana to both call 911, and I told her to watch him, indicating to Joe.
So the position that you were in when you were attending to Christine, where was it in relation to Joe at the last time you saw him?
Joe was behind me. I wasn't facing. I was kneeling down with Christine in front of me. I guess my body orientation would be towards the master bathroom.
Okay. And what if anything happened next?
Juliana she looked like she was stunned, but after I told her to call 911 and watch him, she seemed to dart forward and went into the master bathroom.
Okay. And did you ask her to do that?
No.
Do you know what she was doing?
I mean, I know what she was doing now, but I don't think I was thinking about what she was doing at that second.
That's what I'm asking, is what was she doing? Did you know what she was doing at that time?
I don't think that I was thinking about that.
Okay.
I don't think I was thinking about what she was doing at that time.
Now, what happened next?
Christine told me that she was bleeding out, and that she was sorry and that she loved me.
And what did you tell her?
It was at this point that was another shot. And I looked up and I saw that Juliana had my other firearm, and was stunned that Juliana had shot.
Okay. Did you, where was she in relation to where you were?
She was in front of the master bathroom door. This is kind of a double door.
And so, how far do you think she was shot?
Not very far.
Was she shot
Not very far at all.
prior to shooting?
I didn't hear her say anything prior to. I didn't hear her say anything prior to her shooting.
Now, at any point, do you recall Joe Ryan touching you?
So this was at roughly the same time as the shot. I don't exactly know, if I would assume maybe almost simultaneously. Joe Ryan struck me in my shoulder, like the back part of my shoulder blade.
And did you see him do that?
I did not see him do that.
How did you know it was him?
Well, he's the only person behind me. There's no one else behind me.
And after you felt that, was that when Juliana shot?
To me, those all seem to be within the same. Say exactly.
Okay. Now, when you were you were tending to whatever it was you were doing for Christine.
I don't know exactly why, but my reaction to being hit and Juliana shooting was to stand up, and I stood up and turned around and looked at Joe.
Okay.
Joe was then further back, closer to the wall, and partially on the dog bed.
Now, did you make sure that he was not getting up again?
I looked at him. He did not appear to be moving at that point.
What did you then do?
I yelled for Juliana to call 911 again, and I turned back around and went back to Christine.
Now, do you know what Juliana did with the gun that she used to shoot Joe Ryan?
At some point, I know she put it on the bed.
Did you observe that?
I don't think I observed her putting it on the bed.
Okay. And the gun that Juliana shot Joe Ryan with wasn't the gun that you have, correct?
No, the gun that I shot Joe Ryan with was my duty weapon, a Glock 19M, and the gun that Juliana took out of the safe, was a Glock 43X.
Now, the gun that you used to shoot Joe, was that put back in the holster?
I did not put my gun back in the holster. I put it on the ground next to me, basically just right at my side, kind of where I was kneeling.
So where, in terms of position, when you were tending to Christine, what position were you facing?
I was facing Christine towards the master bathroom door, and yeah.
And so when you put your gun down in order to aid her, to what direction did you put the gun down?
I put it to my right, so it was in between me and the bed.
And to the best of your recollection, do you know where it was in terms of in relation to the corner of the bed?
It's pretty close to the back left corner of the bed. There wasn't too much space between me and the bed at this point.
And can you just tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in terms of time that morning, after you put that gun down, what did you do?
Well, when I put the gun down, that's when I had originally started aid to Christine, and that was when I asked her to show me the wound, and then we had kind of both put our hands on the wound.
Okay. Now, Did there come a time when you instructed Juliana to call 911?
I had instructed Juliana to call 911 at least twice.
Okay. And did there come a time where you realized that when you were wondering what was going on with 911?
She seemed to be, after she shot, she seemed to be stunned and just standing there, not doing anything. And I yelled at her to call 911 again.
And do you know if she followed your?
At that point, she seemed to. At that point, she seemed to come out of her trance, and I know that she started. I know that she started working on her phone.
Now, why didn't you call 911?
I had a significant amount of blood on my hands, and I was trying to help. I was trying to help Christine, and also we're trained that if there's others around, if you can have them call 911 or assist you, that is something that you would instruct them to do.
So, from inside the room, please describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how that 911 came, how you came to be talking.
If you're watching on a desktop,
Juliana seemed to be
watching on her phone,
pacing,
feel free to join.
kind of in front of the TV area of the bedroom and kind of moving towards the master bedroom door. She called 911, but when she called, she really wasn't saying anything. She was kind of stumbling over her words.
And so, what, if anything, did you do?
I heard that she was on the call with 911, and I could hear the 911 operator asking questions, and so I answered the questions, of my home location and I guess briefly what had happened.
What did you say?
I believe I said that there was a man that had stabbed my wife and that I had shot him, and I identified myself as an officer, gave my address. Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, were you still rendering aid to Christine?
Yes, we had spoke slightly more also during that time. She was coughing, and blood had come out of her mouth, and so I knew that that's possible for people to choke on blood, and so I told her I was going to roll her on her side, and she and so we did, and so I did that, and she seemed to know that that was also the right thing to do.
Okay, and so she was able to help you roll her over?
Yeah, so I rolled, so I guess it would be kind of slightly away from me, slightly more towards the master bathroom door, and further away from the bed.
Now, in the time frame that we've just talked about, did you ever get a point where you had a better idea of the wounds that were on Christine's neck?
After Juliana shot, and I went back to Christine. Once again, I put my hand on her hand, but she slid her hand from underneath mine and put it on top of mine, and actually my finger went inside of her neck, and that made me realize how badly she was hurt.
Now, with regard to when the hands were removed off of the neck, was there any indication as to how badly she was hurt in terms of anything?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
In terms of, once you took your hands off of her neck, did that give you any indication of the extent of the wounds?
Yeah, I could see I saw the length of the wound, and the fact that my, part of my finger actually went inside of hers before I quickly moved my hand out.
Were you able to And so were you able to continue compression?
I did try. I would say that both of us continued to try compression. And probably also just before she rolled over, I realized that she was holding her hand on the other side of her neck too. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that previously.
And so what side of the neck are you talking about now?
I was helping her with the right side of her neck, and she had her her left hand on her left side of her neck.
Okay, so she was tending to herself on the left side of the neck?
Yeah, I didn't notice that originally.
Okay, did you assist her then at that point?
I did not put my other hand around her I did not put my other hand around her at that point. It was I don't know, I guess we were focused. I was talking to her, and I guess I was a little bit more focused on that.
Okay. And in talking to her, did she assist you in any, in terms of how you could help her?
Basically, she had indicated that she had told me that she, in her words and with her hands, that she wanted more pressure. After my finger had gone into her neck, I guess I tried to close my hand a little bit around the skin to try to, I don't know, I guess try to close the wound as much as possible, but it didn't seem to be doing anything.
Okay, and in terms of the blood, when you took your hand off of her wound, what did you see?
In the beginning, you could see that the blood was I guess partially shooting out, and it was going through her fingers. But later on, that wasn't what was happening any longer.
Okay. What, if anything, did you observe, and what did you do?
I mean, this was back to putting pressure and covering the wounds. And
now, did there come a time when the first responders arrived?
Yes, after some time, the first responders arrived. I know that Juliana left the room at some point, and I know that I heard her go down the stairs. I think that 911 had instructed her to open the door. At a different point on the 911 call, the 911 operator advised to get towels. And Juliana, this was before opening the door, Juliana went into the master bathroom and came back with towels also.
Now, had you been using anything when the 911 operator suggested towels, clean towels, things like that?
So I guess originally I guess I stopped doing pressure when the 911 operator recommended to use towels. And at that point, I grabbed the comforter that was kind of all around me. And I used the comforter, part of the comforter on her neck for a little bit.
Okay. And did there come a time where you moved to something different, or what?
When Juliana gave me the towels, I kind of tossed the comforter behind me and used a towel.
Okay. Now, what, if anything, did you do after that?
You're lucky.
I know that there was a point that I rechecked Christine's pulse. So I had to remove the towel, and I saw that it wasn't really as covered in blood anymore, and the pulse was significantly weaker. And I checked her pulse with my hand. Her pulse, she still had a pulse, but it felt slow and weak compared to when I had my hand previously.
Now, if you can, do you have any idea, or can you give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury any indication as to, from the time you shot Joe Ryan to the time the first responders arrived, how long that was?
It's hard. It's very
Dude.
difficult to say. It felt like an extremely long time. I don't know. You're not really thinking about how long it really takes, but the wait on the 911 call felt like it was forever.
After you testified, you stood up. After
He
Juliana
shot a
Joe
guy.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Was there any time between the moment you went back to Christine and the time the first responders arrived that you weren't next to Christine?
After I stood up, I spent the rest of my time kneeling next to Christine, and I did not get up from next to Christine until first responders arrived and instructed me that they were going to take over.
Okay, let's go to that point. What was the first thing that you realized that the police were there, or fire, or whomever?
I know that I heard Juliana yelling to come up here. And I heard many footsteps and people arriving.
And from your position of rendering aid, how did you move from that position?
So I was facing Christine and facing towards the master bathroom, and I was instructed to go into the master bathroom.
When you went, okay, sorry, go ahead.
I think I was standing relatively near for a few seconds before they instructed me to go into the master bathroom.
And when you relinquished first aid duties to the first responders, was Christine still breathing?
Yes, Christine was still breathing.
And her pulse was still
positive? Yes, she was still alive, very much.
Okay. Now, when you were taken away by the first
Mr.
responders.
Chair, is this a good time to have a morning break?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take our 15-minute morning break. Please do not discuss the case with anybody. Don't do any outside research. Thank you.
Okay. That's actually a good time for me to, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue this, but I wanted to show you guys the video from The Price is Right live that I did, and I can't do that without switching cameras. So just hang in there with me. We're gonna go back to court, and then we are going to come back from court. Was this guy out on bail?
Are we ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
Spay and neuter your dogs, folks.
All right. Your next question, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, we left off at the point when you were being told to let the first responders take care of Christine. Do you recall who it was that advised you to go into the bathroom?
I did not know the names of anybody at that point.
Okay. When you went into the bathroom, what, if anything, did you do while they were tending to Christine?
I was instructed to sit on the edge of the tub.
Okay. And at that point, what condition were you in?
He wasn't shot, if that's what you're trying to get at.
Panicked, shocked, worried, scared. I felt like I was having a very hard time breathing, and my leg was bothering me, seemed to be spasming.
Okay, we saw from the body cam video, excuse me. We saw from the body cam video you received, I guess, a checkup in an ambulance?
Yes, some of the officers took me to an ambulance.
And what was that? What was the basis for them to get you checked out? Do you know?
I know at one point when I was in the bathroom, I went to the ground.
Okay.
And I wasn't walking properly. So they seemed to want to get me checked out.
When you arrived back from the McDonald's, were you having any difficulties physically? Arrived on February 24th within the bedroom. Were you struck in any way that would have affected your lower extremities?
I don't remember being hit in my leg at all. I only remember being hit in my back of my shoulder.
Okay. And when you, I think it's partially showing on the body cam, but when you went down, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what happened.
I was crying. I was having, I guess I would say that I was hyperventilating. I stabilized myself with my hands on the floor. I was scared for Christine.
And at some point you, as we see in the evidence that's been presented, you go to the ambulance and you go to the hospital, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about another topic that came up during the trial. What, if anything, did you know about the purchase of windows at your house?
Christine and I started looking for windows back in 2021. We received quotes from 10, 12, 15 different vendors. The shopping process was long. Over the course of the quotes and shopping process, we wanted triple pane windows because the front of my house has quite a bit of southern exposure. A lot of sun comes in there and the foyer would get very warm. Also, the windows, some of the windows in my house were stuck closed where we couldn't open them.
We're trying to.
Christine complained about that none of our windows had screens.
Sorry.
And one of the windows by the back door was off center enough that there was actually a slight gap to the outside. And the smallest window in the basement, for some reason, was a single pane window and would allow cold to come in. So that was a lot of the reasons why we shopped for windows.
And you indicated you went through numerous vendors?
Yes.
And when, if you know, did you agree upon vinyl light windows?
I believe we agreed on, I believe we had a second quote from Vinylite in the summer, the early summer of 2022, which is before any relationship with Juliana. And we received an updated quote with the triple pane windows. I believe that was in July of 2022, which is also before any relationship with Juliana. And we've placed the final order in August and I believe made the first payment for any was with any relationship with Juliana, meaning that the windows were prior to any relationship with Juliana.
Now,
Thank you.
Did you ever go outside and scream in some sort of a test?
No, it's ridiculous. I did at one point speculate to Juliana that I wondered if our neighbors didn't hear the gunshots because of the windows. That's the only thing that I ever remember saying to Juliana, and that was after February 24th, after some of my neighbors had spoke to me and said that they didn't hear anything.
Now, the window job that you had Vinyl Light do was a full replacement of all the windows.
Yes, it was replacement of every window.
Okay. And was there anything about the windows in the bedroom that was greater in terms of soundproofing or greater in terms of efficiency than the other windows around the house?
No, the entire house was chosen to do triple pane windows. There was a couple windows that were slightly different. One of them was the pane window in the master bathroom, which was obscured glass so that people can't see into the master bathroom. We changed the style of window of the basement smallest window to being double pane and triple pane in a sliding style. I think that was the main changes, besides upgrading to triple pane and the different repairs and things that we wanted in terms of features.
Now, moving on to the personal weapon that you have.
Okay.
Was that the one that Juliana used on the 24th?
Yes, my personal firearm was a Glock 43X.
And where do you normally keep that?
I keep it in my firearm safe, which is inside of my master bedroom closet.
Okay. And do you know, was that firearm in the safe and locked on the 24th of February?
Yes, the firearm was in the safe and locked on the 24th of February.
And did Juliana have access to the code?
Juliana knew the code because the code was the same as my door code of the house. And at different points, she was in my master bedroom closet and observed me putting away my firearms.
And so when you testified that she went into the closet and you thought it was for towels?
So when she went to the bathroom, I mean, I guess first I can't see the master bedroom closet from where I was in the bedroom. When I told her to watch him and call 911, I didn't know what exactly she was doing at that moment, and I couldn't see that she went to the safe.
And at what point did you realize that she had gone to the safe?
Only after she shot.
And at some point, were you able to confirm that your personal weapon was being used?
Well, yes, I saw that she had my weapon.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the day before, November 23rd.
February 23rd?
I'm sorry, February 23rd. I apologize. Were you aware of any vacation plans for you and the members of your family?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you know about the vacation plans?
Christina and I already had a cruise that was planned for, I don't know, maybe May or June of 2023. That was planned earlier with a large part of our family was going to be attending to that. But Christina and I were planning another trip, which was going to possibly be to Punta Cana, which is where we had our honeymoon originally, and so we had discussed that, and she was telling me about some of the resorts that she had been looking at.
Okay, and was Royalton Resorts one of those?
That I believe was the one that she liked the best, and she sent me a message wanting me to look at it and basically to see if I agreed, and if we would probably book it relatively soon if we thought that would work out, and we'd have to figure out days off and things like that.
Do you remember where you were when you received that message?
Relevance?
Actually, I think I was in the living room with her. I think she just sent it to me as like, this is what we're saving so that we could, continue to review it later.
Okay, to show her.
Yes.
Or to show you, I guess.
Yes.
And how did you receive that message?
Generally, when we message, we don't use standard text messaging. Our usual messenger of choice was Facebook Messenger, and that's how I received that.
Okay. And
Interesting.
and you were in the same room with her?
I believe I was in the same room with her. We were in and out of the same room together frequently that day. That day was my birthday.
Specifically relating to that request or the discussion about the travel arrangements. Did you ever take control of her laptop?
No, she was sitting on the couch using her laptop, and we were discussing it while I was playing with Lego with Valerie.
And did you ever use her phone regarding that discussion?
No, I never used her phone.
Did she ever leave to go anywhere during that discussion regarding resorts?
Why is
not that I remember. At some point, I took Valerie to bed, and bedtime at that time usually involved a story or two, brushing teeth, getting changed. So that took 20, 30 minutes, and then I returned to Christine after I was done with bed for Valerie.
When you returned to Christine, did she have her devices still?
Yes.
Now, this was your birthday, so what was going on at the house that day?
One of my friends, Nishant, came over. He brought me a box of large cookies from, I believe it was Midnight Treats. And but really, we didn't do anything for my birthday because Valerie had swim lessons that day. So I had taken Valerie to swim lessons. Christine had told me she had to work late. I don't think she got back until after 8. Christine and I had celebrated my birthday, I guess the day before. On the 22nd, we went to Korean barbecue, me, Christine, and Valerie.
Okay. And on the 23rd, which was your birthday, where was Juliana?
I don't know where Juliana was when.
Come on, man.
We were talking about the vacations. I do know that she came with me to the gym. She actually worked out with Nishant at the gym, and then Nishant came back to our house later. I was with Valerie at the pool.
Okay. And when the discussions regarding resorts and all that sort of stuff was going on, was Juliana around for that?
I don't know where she was, but she was not in the living room, kitchen, main floor area.
Was Christine's laptop there with you guys?
Yes.
Was her phone with you guys?
I don't seem to remember much about her phone that day because my recollection is her using the laptop, and that's where she was doing the research while that we were talking about.
Oh, wait.
Now, did there come when you recorded Lily?
Excuse me.
And the sounds that Lily made and makes?
Yes. I believe it was in the summer of 24.
Okay. And in doing that recording, why were you making a recording of Lily's sounds?
Ryan Campbell which is Juliana's attorney, had come to my house because he wanted to view the layout of the house and see how far it took to.
Okay, guys, we have a bunch of people watching, and I just want to make sure that you have hit the like button. And while you're doing that, make sure that you are subscribed. I do this every Tuesday through Friday, beginning at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And I was gone. Sorry, that's my French bulldog. I was gone for a week, but I'm back. And so we're back at it in court today with this au pair double or single unaliving. I'm walking right into this without knowledge. I'm like all of you guys. So you're getting raw reactions right now. I'm also going to show you a couple of vacation videos. One is of a lady and I having a choice of words at the Price is Right on the cruise ship. And I won. So that's important. But if you could hit the like button, that would be great. That helps the algorithm. With that being said, I am going to post a new poll question right now. So be on the lookout. Thanks.
How far it took to get to places and, where my gun safe was and things like that. And when he was there, I had Lily outside because I didn't want her to bother him. And he heard sounds of Lily whining and complaining to come in because she was separated from everyone on the inside. And I believe it reminded him of the noise.
Sustained.
I don't think you can say what he thought.
Okay.
What, if anything, did he ask you to do?
Objection, hearsay.
Based upon your conversation with him, what, if anything, did you do?
I recorded the sounds that Lily made.
Okay. And have you listened to the file of Lily 3?
Yes.
And does that accurately represent the sounds that Lily made?
Yes, I sent several different recordings I made several different recordings for her, yes.
Okay, are you aware of the one Lily 3?
Yes.
And you've heard it and you've listened to it?
Yes.
And that reflects the sounds that Lily makes?
Yes, it does.
Here, I move that in as defense exhibit number 377.
Any objection?
No objection.
377 is it was indicated as a different exhibit. Do you want to make it 378?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Judge. I thought we'd stopped at 376, so that's fine.
You tried to get 377 in, but we didn't, so
Yeah,
378?
378, thank
Okay,
you.
378 in evidence.
And here, I may just chat with counsel for 1 second. Your Honor, the file that I was about to move in is already in evidence in the Commonwealth's case.
Okay.
The 911 call.
Okay, that's the exhibit 1 or exhibit 2 or 3? We had 3911.
I believe it's exhibit 1.
Okay.
Perfect. Willa for you.
Court's indulgence.
Yes, sir.
Can you guys hear Pearl snoring?
Sir, have you ever used or looked at FetLife prior to the discovery that's come out in this case?
No, I had never used or looked at or heard of FetLife previously.
Were you aware of Christine using FetLife at all?
No, I didn't have any knowledge of Christine using FetLife.
What?
Did you have any knowledge of whether she had used Craigslist ever?
I think that she did back in New York to advertise that we had a yard sale.
Okay. And that would be the extent of the use of Craigslist?
That's the only time that I can remember.
How about something called Backpage? Did you ever know her to have used those kind of things?
No.
Was there any sort of, well, let me ask you this. How is it that you and Christine would primarily communicate?
Primarily, we would communicate on the phone. We would talk almost. Christine would leave from work. She would almost always call me. Obviously, in person or when we're together. And if it's messages, such as when we're both at work, we usually use Facebook Messenger.
That's weird.
Now, in terms of what you've observed with FetLife, in your own relationship, were any of those sorts of things done in the bedroom?
There was a point a number of years ago that Christine had indicated that she was interested in bondage type situations.
Objection, hearsay.
What?
Sustained.
Without getting into what she had said, were there times when?
What?
Objection, leading.
Sustained is leading.
What, if any, times were there conflict in terms of sexual?
Objection, leading.
Sustained is leading.
In terms of your sexual relationship with Christine, what, if any, differences did you have?
I was not interested in ever harming her. I was never interested in sexual violence. I would say that we also had a discrepancy of how often we would like to have sex. Or I would like to have sex more frequently than we did.
But did those differences, what, if any, effect did those differences have on your relationship with Christine?
I would say that those differences caused some of the reasons why we had affairs at various points in our relationship.
All right, whatever, man.
Did you love your wife?
Yes.
Do you love your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any sort of plan for what February 24th became?
No, it was a situation I was never expecting, never expected to be in, would never want anyone to be in.
In terms of looking back on February 24th, what, if any, things do you think you would do differently?
Objection, relevance.
I'll sustain the objection.
What, if any, things would you do differently in the room confronting Joe Ryan?
Objection, relevance.
I'll sustain as to relevance.
Allegedly, his wife was cheating on him. Allegedly.
When you shot Joe Ryan,
I gotta switch.
were you aware of where you would hit him immediately?
No.
When was it that you found out that you'd hit him in the head?
Actually, I wasn't sure.
Who was this?
I wasn't sure where I hit him until we had discovery.
And why did you shoot Joe Ryan on February 24th?
He was attacking Christine. I mean, he was stabbing her. I mean, I wish I shot him earlier.
Aaron, I have no further questions.
Cross-examination.
That is where you are leaving your line of questioning? Maybe you take your time, girl. What? That, oh, I know, girl. I know. Mama gets worked up. That is where his attorney thought they should end questioning.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good. So let's understand. This is the first time you've told this story or any story about what happened in the bedroom on February 24th, 2023, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you did not tell the police on that day in the bedroom. You did not tell the police on that day in the hospital. You did not tell them when you were back at the station, correct?
Judge, I object. May we approach?
Approach.
I don't know if she can say that to him. I don't know if I'm right, so I don't want to say it out loud.
Sorry, thank you. Let's try that again. You didn't tell the police in the house, you didn't tell them in the driveway, you didn't tell them at the hospital, you didn't tell them back at the station, correct?
I said what I did on the 911 call. I was not questioned by the police at the house, in the driveway, in the ambulance about what had happened.
Okay, but you were questioned at the police station. You didn't tell them then, right?
Actually, I was not questioned at the police station.
Okay. It's been 3 years. You have not had an opportunity to tell the police last 3 years what happened?
Yes, they have requested to speak to me. The police did request Detective Bryant, I believe, to speak to me at the hospital, not at the police station. And yes, they speak to me through my attorney subsequent.
Okay, and you were given the opportunity to tell a court what happened when you were brought in to testify at Juliana's preliminary hearing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and at that point in time, you didn't tell anybody the story, right?
I was advised that that defense is not relevant for preliminary hearings, and it was my intention that I was going to testify at Juliana.
Okay, but at the preliminary, you didn't even admit to Christine being your wife.
That's what I was instructed to by my attorney.
Okay, so now that you've heard all of the evidence, every possible hearing that could happen in this case has happened, you're ready to tell us what happened. Is that accurate?
I was ready to tell what happened at Juliana's testimony, at Juliana's trial when that was scheduled for November.
Okay.
And I've been waiting to do that for mine. I was expecting my trial to be earlier than this too.
But at no point in time have you talked to law enforcement to tell them, at no point have you had your counsel reach out to law enforcement to tell them this story?
Actually, I did have.
Excuse me, I'm not finished. You have not asked anyone to talk about how you saved your wife or tried to save your wife, have you?
Actually, I did. I told counsel that I would participate in any of the civil investigations that was going to be involved with my agency, and that I would regarding this case as they required.
Okay, did you do that?
They did not take it up, was my understanding, because I believe the Fairfax police did not want them to.
Okay, understood. Your affair with Juliana began in August of 2022, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you took trips together, correct?
Yes.
You communicated with her on Discord, is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Discord. Is that a messaging app that is secret, if you will?
No.
No? Okay, it's on your phone?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
don't
the two
forget
of you
to join
elected to communicate that
Discord.
way. Why not with Facebook Messenger like you communicated with Christine, your wife?
I think Discord is my favorite messenger app, and I use it a lot, both with my friends and the gaming groups that I was in. Christine did not use Discord.
Okay. You indicated earlier in your testimony yesterday, I think, that this affair with Juliana was really a nothing, right? This was just an affair. You had had others. This was not a relationship, correct?
I would say that it was a relationship, but it is an affair, but I wouldn't categorize it as serious.
Not serious. Okay. Did you love her?
There was points that I told her that I loved her.
You told her that you loved her, but you didn't actually love her.
I would say that I had feelings for her, but they weren't nearly as strong as feelings for my wife.
Understood. Okay. So let's take a look. Judge, I'd like to have displayed to the witness and counsel Commonwealth 244. All right. So Mr. Banfield, these are your Discord messages with Juliana. Do you recognize the username APOCD2?
Yes, that's my
What
Discord.
letters you can see? Has some more numbers after that, D21?
Mhm.
All right, and that's you, right?
Yes, that is my Discord.
Okay,
Name.
and Juliana is identified as Juliana, is that correct?
It appears to be.
Okay, so if we look at line 30, which I'll highlight for you here.
Sorry, guys.
February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2023, Juliana tried to break up with you, right?
Juliana broke up with me numerous times.
Okay, on this occasion, she
Oh,
said,
Dios mío.
I told you I'm seeing other people. We spoke about this already. I won't be going, speaking of this trip to New York that you were going to take with Valerie,
Yes.
right? I'm sure you two will have lots of fun, something to that effect, right?
Yes.
Okay. This upset you, didn't it?
No.
No? Okay, you beg her in the next several messages to please talk to you, correct? How are you? Do you want to talk? We can chat. We'll scroll up so you can see more.
And those are a different day that appears.
Well, it looks like it's within hours. Yes, midnight happens and we've moved into another day, but you're still asking if you can talk to her, right?
That appears to be what it says.
Okay. Judge, I'd offer,
Evidence?
and Judge, if that's been published, the jury will let it linger for a second, and then if we can take it down. Judge, if we can move to display to the witness and to counsel, Commonwealth 245. Mr. Banfield, I'm going to just scroll through it. Let me know if you recognize this letter.
Yes.
I think I have to switch laptops, you guys. I don't know what's going on with my newer laptop, but I have my MacBook Air Pro.
All right, do you recognize this letter?
Yes.
And this is your letter to Juliana,
Correct.
written while she's incarcerated, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Please don't leave
Is it
me.
fair to say that in this letter you profess your undying love for Juliana?
Oh my God.
Yes, it appears that I was definitely in love with her definitely starting in the summer of 23.
Oh, okay, so it was just before she was arrested that you were fully in love with her?
Well, that's when we had an opportunity to actually have a bit of a relationship with.
Yeah, no.
Other points were obviously very separated. I mean, I was still working a lot. Christina was obviously still around, and I was spending a lot of time with her. So it wasn't really until the summer of 23 that we had a lot of time together.
Okay, but in this letter, you're talking about the memories of times you spent together before Christine's death, correct?
It seems like some of them are before and some are after.
Okay, and the long hot cuddle, was that before Christine's death?
No, that was after. We rode a bike and went to lunch and got caught in the rain.
Okay, Judge, I'd offer this is Commonwealth's 245.
Any objection? 245 in evidence?
And again, you describe here in the very first paragraph-ish, you came here and we fell in love.
Okay.
But you're suggesting that that love didn't happen until after Christine was dead?
As I said, that we did have feelings for each other prior, but I would not describe them as the level of feelings that I had for my wife of 19 years.
Man, you done messed up.
Judge, if I can discontinue the display.
All right.
And if I can have Commonwealth's 246 shared. Defendant.
Winning that day.
Mr. Banfield, this one's 14 pages, so I'm not going to belabor this, but this is another love letter to Juliana. Is that accurate?
It looks that way.
Get a hold of yourself. Let me see.
Judge, I would offer this into evidence as Commonwealth's 246.
Any objection?
I don't know the foundation for him
I'm
identifying it, Judge.
Microphone just can't hear you.
Sorry, I don't know that he's actually identified it. I think he's just agreed with her
Oh,
statement.
I'm sorry. I thought he said, yes, this was his letter to Juliana. This is your letter to Juliana?
I mean,
Yes.
no.
All right, 246 in evidence?
Yeah, a lot of people cheat on their wives.
Here you
though,
said
you know?
that she's your gym partner, helped you to be the strongest in your life. You've never had a consistent partner before.
Yes, that was referring to a gym partner.
Oh, God. Oh, I have to blow my nose.
I am obsessed with your happiness.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yes.
But again, all of this is after Christine
If you
passed.
life that day, I think it's easier to fall in love with somebody that saved you.
All right. And I'm going to have you take a look, Judge, if we can pull this down. Commonwealth 247. Do you recognize this item?
Because I'm
And this is
losing
another
viewers
love letter
and
to Juliana.
crazy.
Yes.
All right. Judge, it offers into evidence. Commonwealth 247.
Any objection? 247?
And while I think I'm opinionated, I don't think I'm that opinionated.
Okay, and if we can pull this down. I can have you take a look at Commonwealth 250. Do you recognize this letter?
Yes.
Again, you to Juliana?
Yes.
And in this one, you're discussing baby names for your future children with her?
That is something that you wanted to talk about.
Okay. Judge, I would offer this into evidence as Commonwealth 250.
Any objection? 250 in evidence?
Sir.
All right. But you are contending, again, these feelings, these very strong feelings, these let's be together for the rest of our lives feelings did not exist when your wife was alive.
Correct.
Okay. And they certainly did not motivate you to kill your wife.
Juliana and I weren't even together when Christine died.
All right. You had broken up, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you need to kill your wife to get her back?
Definitely not.
Okay. You've had multiple affairs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And one of those affairs was with a woman named Danielle, who you met on a fetish site searching for sugar babies. Is that correct?
I would not call it a fetish site.
Okay. What would you call it?
An arranged relationship.
Okay. But you were looking for someone to be your sugar baby?
I guess. It was a relationship where they would already know that I was married. That was what I was looking for.
Okay.
This is
Another one of your affairs was with your best friend's wife. Is that correct?
No. First, he's not my best friend. Number two, they were not married. They were not even together at that point.
They were, is that your understanding of what they believed? Or is that how you perceived their relationship? Did they think they were together?
I don't think so. My understanding is that she wanted to be with him and they were not together at that point.
Okay.
But no, they were definitely not married at that point or anything like that.
Okay. You were married at that point.
Yes, I was married at that point.
All right. Thank you. Let's talk about Christine and her apparent decision to solicit someone to fake rape her. You would agree, you have not seen today, nor are you aware of any phone history, computer history, indicating that she was interested in this type of relationship prior to January of 2023, correct?
I was aware that she was interested in this type of thing, but I was unaware of the messages or that she was pursuing this again, as it had been many years since she had expressed those feelings.
Okay, but there is no internet history that you're aware of predating January 2023, correct?
I'm not, could you ask that a different way?
Okay. From what you've seen in court, she sets this up. She's using a profile picture from a gym bathroom with like a Barbie doll. I think it's an Ariel doll in the picture. And that's a photo that she sent to you on that day, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did she have any other pictures in her Facebook cache that she could have used that you're aware of?
I don't know.
Okay. You never looked at her Facebook?
Hey, Hollywood.
Yes, I look at her Facebook, but I don't use social media very much.
Okay. You presented us with 20 plus pictures yesterday. Were any of those photos available to her? They all came from her Facebook page, correct?
I don't know where they came from. I didn't arrange for them.
Oh, okay. Those weren't your photos that you were sharing with us?
Some of them appeared to be my photos, but I don't know.
Whoa.
Some of them, I believe, were my mother's. Some of them, I think, were Christine's. A lot of times, Christine and I, if we were to share photos, we shared them on Messenger.
Okay. All right. And in the pictures that you all had shared on Messenger, there was not a single other photo of Christine where she wasn't in a public bathroom that she could have used as her profile photo?
I'm sure she could choose whatever profile photo she would have wanted. I don't know why. I mean, it appears that she took the photo that day and used the photo that day for herself.
Okay. When these solicitations occurred between Christine and the other users on FetLife, she was looking for someone that she expected to engage with her sight unseen, correct? There were not to be any meetings in public in advance of this hookup.
That is what the messages seem to appear.
Okay. And she was only doing this when either you or Juliana were home, correct?
Huh?
It appeared to me that it happened when I was not home based on what was presented today often.
Right, but Juliana was home, correct?
I don't necessarily know where Juliana was at those points.
You just know that you weren't there,
Oh.
correct?
Well, we went through lots of the evidence that showed that there was many times that I wasn't there. There was points that it showed that the messages were logged into from the CBRN email that Juliana states that she has no knowledge of, never logged into, doesn't know the password to. And so if Juliana is the home, whether she is or not, the only other person that is home is Christine
Right. But most importantly, you are not home.
I'm sorry. Hold up. Wait a minute. Bring it back. Is he still in love with her? Because it sounds an awful lot like he is defending this this au pair that killed his wife. I'm just want to make sure that I am understanding the situation correctly. Okay, thanks.
Correct?
It appears that there was many messages that were sent while I was home and many messages
That's
that were
not what
sent
I
while I
asked.
wasn't home.
I am asking, you were not home.
There is both messages that from when I was home and when I was not home, it
Okay.
appears.
Okay. So the person that she picked again was one who was willing to come to her home, not a hotel, without any sort of public meetup first, as seemed to be the ask from most of the other participants on FetLife. Accurate?
I didn't read the other messages between other people.
Okay. And this person needed to be willing to bring a knife, correct?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see an ask for the knife.
No problem. You were present for your daughter's birth. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And at that time, were you aware that Christine received medication to address her blood clotting disorder?
My experience is that she did not, that they tested her in her prenatal experience and that she did not require a medication for it, but they were going to monitor her for it during the delivery.
Okay, because you were aware she had a blood clotting disorder, correct?
I am aware that she has a blood clotting disorder.
Okay.
That's why I can't have kids.
When you set this whole thing up,
I didn't set this whole thing up.
I'm sorry, when Christine set this whole thing up, it was scheduled to occur minutes after her family was leaving the house at 7. Early?
I didn't have a meeting the next, I'm sorry. Can you ask the question again?
Sure, the night before on the 23rd,
Oh,
right?
23rd, sorry.
When she is setting this up, she's scheduling it to occur at 7:20-ish a.m., which was going to be minutes after everyone had left the house to go to the zoo, to go to the big meeting, right?
That is what the messages seem to say.
Okay, and was she aware that the nanny was taking your daughter to the zoo?
It appears to me that she arranged for Juliana to take Valerie to the zoo. She got the parking tickets to take her to the zoo. She had planned it, I don't know, a week, 10 days prior.
Right, and the zoo opens at 8 o'clock and everyone's leaving at 7, but she scheduled Joe Ryan to come over at 7:20. Is that correct?
I don't know what time she scheduled exactly.
Okay. And you indicated that you were not aware that she had taken February 24th off until just the day before, right?
That is correct.
Okay, but that's not accurate because her parents were scheduled to come while you were going to be out of town the night of the 24th. Isn't that correct?
Hold on,
I
guys.
believe they were coming in the evening, and then she would already be back from work.
I see.
We are switching it up, going to another laptop because something is wrong with my other laptop. Sorry, just one moment. No. Okay. Audio. I am going to use, I guess, this camera on my laptop. And let's get started. Okay, add to stage. Get rid of the other one. Sorry, that's my dog. Okay. Can you guys see me? Present. Share screen. Court TV. Going to Court TV. We're opening this up. And we are going 3 hours into it. Mm. 3 hours and 35 minutes. Okay. Sorry, guys, we were not prepared for this. And by we, I mean myself. What's up with this music? Are you guys hearing this? I gotta make sure you guys are hearing this. God, I look so washed out. Okay. There we go. This is an older computer too, so the camera isn't that great. I'm getting all the other stuff out of the way to improve my internet. Discord, ironically enough. And mail. Okay. That should be better.
you've described for us that she's already bleeding and that you see a forward movement, but you can't really tell what happened.
Hold on.
Right? And then you told us.
They did not take it up, was my understanding, because I believe the Fairfax police did not want them to.
Okay,
We didn't hear
understood.
this.
Your affair with Juliana began in August of 2022, correct?
Yes,
Okay, you took trips together, correct?
yes,
I heard about that.
You communicated with her on Discord, is that correct?
yes.
Tell us a little bit about Discord. Is that a messaging app that is secret, if you will?
No,
No? Okay, it's on your phone?
yes.
Okay, and the two of you elected to communicate that way. Why not with Facebook Messenger like you communicated with Christine, your wife?
I think Discord is my favorite messenger app, and I use it a lot, both with my friends and the gaming groups that I was in. Christine did not use Discord.
Okay. You indicated earlier in your testimony yesterday, I think, that this affair with Juliana was really a nothing, right? This was just an affair. You had had others. This was not a relationship, correct?
I would say that it was a relationship, but it is an affair, but I wouldn't categorize it as serious.
Not serious. Okay. Did you love her?
There was points that I told her that I loved her.
You told her that you loved her, but you didn't actually love her.
Okay, I'm going a little bit further.
Memories of times you spent together before Christine's death, correct?
It seems like some of them are before and some are after.
Okay. And the long hot cuddle, was that before Christine's death?
No, that was after. We rode bike and went to lunch and got caught in the rain.
Okay. Judge, I'd offer this is Commonwealth's 245.
Any objection? No. 245 in evidence?
Trying to see if I can plug my other camera in, but I can't.
And again, you describe here in the very first paragraph-ish, you came here and we fell in love. But you're suggesting that that love didn't happen until after Christine was dead.
As I said, that we did have feelings for each other prior, but I would not describe them as the level of feelings that I had for my wife of 19 years.
All right. Judge, if I can discontinue the display.
All right.
And if I can have Commonwealth's 246 shared with counsel and the defendant. Mr. Banfield, this one's 14 pages, so I'm not going to belabor this, but this is another love letter to Juliana. Is that accurate?
It looks that way.
Judge, I would offer this into evidence as Commonwealth's 246.
I don't know the foundation for him identifying it, Judge.
Microphone, I just can't hear you.
Sorry, I don't know that he's actually identified it. I think he's just agreed with her
Oh,
statement.
I'm sorry. I thought he said, yes, this was the letter to Juliana. This is your letter to Juliana?
Okay.
Yes.
All right, 246 in evidence?
And here you said that she's your gym partner, helped you to be the strongest in your life. You've never had a consistent partner before.
Yes, that was referring to a gym partner.
I am obsessed with your happiness.
Wow.
Yes.
But again, all of this is after Christine
I mean,
had passed?
if you look at that, it also that I declared that she was a hero because, in my view, she saved my life that day. I think it's easier to fall in love with somebody that saved you.
Pearl.
All right. And I'm going to have you take a look, Judge, if we can pull this down. Commonwealth's 247. Do you recognize this item?
Maybe if I do this.
Yes.
All right. And this is another love letter to Juliana.
Yes.
All right. Judge, I'd offer this into evidence, Commonwealth's 247.
247?
Okay, and if we can pull this down. I can have you take a look at Commonwealth's 250. Do you recognize this letter?
Yes.
Again, you to Juliana?
Yes.
And in this one, you're discussing baby names for your future children with her?
That is something that you want to talk about?
Okay. Judge, I would offer this into evidence as Commonwealth's 250.
Any objection? 250 in evidence.
All right. But you are contending, again, these feelings, these very strong feelings, these let's be together for the rest of our lives feelings did not exist when your wife was alive.
Correct.
Okay. And they certainly did not motivate you to kill your wife.
Juliana and I weren't even together when Christine died.
All right. You had broken up, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you need to kill your wife to get her back?
Definitely not.
You had multiple affairs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And one of those affairs was with a woman named Danielle, who you met on a fetish site searching for sugar babies. Is that correct?
I would not call it a fetish site.
Okay. What would you call it?
An arranged relationship.
Okay. But you were looking for someone to be your sugar baby?
I guess. It was a relationship where they would already know that I was married. That was what I was looking for.
Okay. Another one of your affairs was with your best friend's wife. Is that correct?
No. First, he's not my best friend. Number two, they were not married. They were not even together at that point.
They were, is that your understanding of what they believed? Or is that how you perceived their relationship? Did they think they were together?
I don't think so. My understanding is that she wanted to be with him and they were not together at that point.
Okay.
But no, they were definitely not married at that point or anything like that.
Okay. But you were married at that point.
Yes, I was married at that point.
All right. Thank you. Let's talk about Christine and her apparent decision to solicit someone to fake rape her. You would agree you have